presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Fourth of July weekend in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Miller Park shining brightly on this Sunday afternoon. Fans are filing in to see the Marlins and the Brewers, the final game of this three-game series. And the Brewers looking for a sweep. Let's get you caught up on the series. Friday, it was the Stephen Vogt show. His first 2 home runs as a Brewer, including a game winner in the 7th inning. What a debut at Miller Park for the newest Brewer. Yesterday, the Brewers behind a 7-run second inning, down 2-0 at the time, put 7 on the board, added 1 late, and win it 8-4 on national TV. So the Brewers have won 3 straight, decked out in their 4th of July gear, and they have a 3-game lead in the National League Central. The Cubs lost yesterday in Cincinnati. The Brewers, the only team over 500, 5 games over, 3 games up. And hi, everybody. We welcome you. Happy 4th of July weekend to you all. Hope you're having a great time with family and friends. We welcome you to our broadcast. Bill Schroeder's here. I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Sophia Minnaert in just a moment as well. Junior Guerra gets the ball today for the Brewers, but the headline today is the Brewers' 22-year-old shortstop Orlando Arcia, who is performing at an all-star level here lately.
Incredible. I mean, his defense has always been good. That never really wavers. But offensively, we're watching him transform into a really good hitter at the major league level. You can see his hits by direction, center field and around the left field. A lot of that coming as of late. The right field base hits, have come early in the season. It's almost as if he flipped the switch. Early in the year, every pitch that Arcia seemed to get, he was trying to drive into right field. I mean, even pitches inside, but all of a sudden, since June started, he is starting to drive the ball to left field, and the hands very quick on the inside part of the plate, pitches out over the plate up. He's driving out of the ballpark into center field. He is starting to become an offensive threat at the bottom of the order. You can see that hanging slider right here where he takes it, waits back long enough, very quick hands. It's all about confidence for Orlando Arcia. He now believes that he can hit and be consistent at the plate here at the major league level. Well,
he is performing at a Gold Glove level defensively. Offense is coming as well. Big home run yesterday, part of that Brewers win against the Marlins. What a fun afternoon we've had already. It's family day at Miller Park. Sophia will give you some of the images. She'll have that story when we continue.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Cupie and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Cupie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. A great Sunday afternoon for baseball. The Brewers already have the series win against the Marlins. How about they go for a sweep here this afternoon? A look at today's starters: Dan Straley for the Marlins, and it'll be Junior Guerra for the Brewers, looking for a bounce-back outing after a rough go in Cincinnati. Good afternoon, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park, and as it's 4th of July weekend, summer underway, families getting together, and here at Miller Park, Brewers families did the same. A tradition like no other this Sunday. All the Brewers Family Day coming out. So this was the scene on the field here at Miller Park this morning. Manny Piña's son, all the families out. That's a look at Pat Murphy's son, Jesus Aguilar's son, Matias as well. All kinds of fun for the Brewers family, coaches, their families, getting together this Sunday, enjoying some batting practice. Craig Counsell and his son getting some action there on the field, taking some swings with the famous racing sausages. A lot of fun. Ryan Braun, his family, Larissa, their daughter Celine, and their newborn son Grayson as well. So great to see all of the families out at Miller Park. It was a great day for the Knable family as well. We'll get into that a little bit later in our game, but now the Brewers offense, they're rolling. They're going for 4 wins in a row, matching a season-high winning streak. We've got first pitch coming up next here at Miller Park.
Yeah, a lot of hugs on this homestand already, and Family Day at Miller Park. Eric Thames having some fun with some of the kids that are out there. Ryan Braun with some help from Alita Mercer. Good job, Alita. Oh, wait, no, she's passing baby Braun on quickly. Here you go. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minert, our reporter. Today's game being produced by Brent Reeland, directed by Renardo Lowe. 64 degrees. They just closed the roof about a half hour ago. It started to rain, actually, on the field at Miller Park. Able to get the roof closed. We might see it pop open here eventually. There's Don Mattingly. He is headed to the All-Star game as a coach. He'll be on Joe Madden's staff. All-Star game in Miami this season. The All-Stars are going to be announced a little bit later tonight. Potawatomi batting order for the Marlins. You've got JT Realmuto leading off, Giancarlo Stanton, then Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, who might be voted in today. He's hitting cleanup with Justin Bour and Martin Prado. Derek Dietrich, JT Riddle, and Dan Straley round out the starting 9 against the Brewers, and Junior Guerra, the opening day starter, looking for a bounce back here this afternoon.
Yeah, he suffered his worst loss as a Brewer. Gave up 8 runs in 4 innings against the Reds in Cincinnati last time out, making his first ever start against Miami.
Independence Day weekend here, and all across Major League Baseball, the specialty uniforms. How about the catching gear of Manny Pena, by the way? That is top shelf.
Awesome. Outstanding.
Stars and stripes, and I love it. Great look behind the plate for Manny Pena. First pitch, strike 1. Next one is rolled foul. Quickly 0-2. Final game of this series. Brewers have won the first 2. They want a thriller here, a snatch 'em back win on Friday night. That was the Stephen Vogt 2-homer game, including the go-ahead home run in the 7th inning, a 3-2 win. And then yesterday the Brewers doubled up the Marlins 8-4. A swing and a miss and a strikeout to start today for Junior Guerra.
Now let's check out the Menards Brewers defense here today. You got Ryan Braun, Keon Broxton, and Domingo Santana in the outfield. Perez, Arcia on the left side. Sogard, Thames on the right side. No Travis Shaw. He's not playing third base today. And Manny Pena, after a couple of consecutive starts for Stephen Vogt behind home plate, he gets the nod catching Junior here today.
Giancarlo Stanton steps in, takes strike 1 from Guerra. The Brewers are looking for their 4th sweep of the year. It would be just the 3rd 3-game sweep with a win today over the Marlins. Brewers had sweeps against the Cincinnati Reds and the New York Mets. Both of those occurred here at Miller Park. Both were 3-game sweeps. There was a 2-game sweep at Toronto early in the season. And Craig Counsell has seen his team win 3 straight and take a 3-game lead in the National League Central.
And continue to play well, continue to hit the baseball, scoring runs. And the bullpen has really tightened its act up as well.
Cubs will be in Cincinnati today. Brewers have that 3-game lead over Chicago. Cardinals come in 3.5 back of the Brewers. And a win today for Milwaukee would also match their longest winning streak of the year of 4 in a row. They have done that 3 times. That's the way it looks in the National League Central starting play today. Just one team, the Brewers, over 500. 3-1 to Stanton. 3-2 now.
Yeah, Brewers the only team over 500, but every team in the division still has a shot. And that's the thing about this division. You never know what's going to happen. But the Brewers a big surprise. First place in July.
Cubs have an early lead in Cincinnati today, 3-0. That game's in the 4th inning. Be keeping an eye on that one for you as Stanton draws the walk. And a base runner for the Marlins in the 1st inning. That'll bring up Christian Yelich. It's a very good hitting Miami Marlins ball club. Excellent lineup. They've got some power. It's an extremely aggressive lineup. They swing early in counts. A lot of early results. Junior Guerra certainly knows that scouting report.
Yeah,
keep an eye on the split finger fastball of Guerra today, Rock. This is a pitch that was his money pitch last year. We've seen a lot less of that splitter this season for whatever reason.
And for the most part, he hasn't been throwing as many, or they haven't had as much velocity. Coming in more like forkballs these days. And it all comes down to fastball location, though, for Junior, like it does for every pitcher. He's Been getting a little bit too much of the plate. He gave up 4 home runs his last game against Cincinnati.
Worst start of his career, Guerra, giving up the 8 earned runs on 8 hits in 4 innings. Command has been at the heart of his problems, and that's pretty much a guarantee for any pitcher. 3 walks his last time out. So his last 2 starts, Guerra has walked 8 batters in 10 innings. Very un-Guerra-like, and he's had multiple games now where he's walking 3 and 4 per start. There's a strike. 3-1 the count. Guerra was the Brewers' opening day starter and was injured that game while at the plate in the 3rd inning. Had a calf strain, put him on the DL for 6 weeks. There's a hot ground ball through for a base hit, and Yelich is aboard with a single. And right away, Guerra is going to have to make some high stress pitches in the 1st inning.
Yeah, getting behind an account, and the fastball for Junior, last handful of starts has been low 90s. I mean, last year he was throwing that fastball up to 96 miles an hour. Was very effective in the upper part of the strike zone with that fastball. But a 3-1 pitch in on Yelich, and he hits it hard into right.
And now we'll have to face the Marlins' best player this year, Marcell Ozuna. He will be an all-star, might be an all-star starter. Hitting .312 with 20 home runs and 55 runs batted in. And that's saying a lot when you consider the Marlins play in one of the more pitcher-friendly ballparks in the big leagues, in Marlins Park. The outfield ranks in the National League, Ozuna is all over this list. He's top 5 in most categories, 3rd in batting average. Those 20 home runs good enough for 3rd as well among all National League outfielders. He's had a great year.
Yeah, and a good outfielder with a good arm.
OPS of .928 coming into play today. Played some center field, a little bit of right field with Stanton out through the years, and now has found a home in left field for the Marlins. Don Mattingly, former Dodger manager, now in year number 2 in Miami. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. Guerra falling behind again.
It becomes a lonely spot on that pitcher's mound when you're not able to throw those secondary pitches for strikes. I mean, that seems to be the issue for Junior. Falling behind, having to come in with a fastball, doesn't have the velocity that he did.
A wave and a miss. Curveball. Yeah, he went with an off speed behind in the count, and it's 2-2 now. Ozuna was in swing mode and was way out in front of this one.
Yeah, you can get him on off speed, down in the zone and off the plate. But be careful with the fastball.
Two on, 1st inning. We're just underway at Miller Park. The Marlins threatening quickly here today. Took an early lead yesterday. The Brewers were able to erase that with a 7-run 2nd inning. And a swing and a miss. He got him. Pena blocks it. A splitter from Guerra gets the strikeout, and the 2nd out of the inning for Junior.
Boy, that's a good sign. I mean, that's the old Junior Guerra split-fingered fastball right there. Check it out. You see the tumble. It's down. It has something on it, and as we mentioned, this guy will chase off speed. That splitter down out of the zone at 83 miles an hour. Good pitch.
So 2 men are out. Here is Justin Bour. He's part of that triple threat for the Marlins with Stanton and Ozuna. Stanton has 21 homers, Ozuna with 20, and Bour with 18. Those are big numbers in a very big ballpark.
Yeah, you got to control those 3, really 4 when you include Yelich in there. The rest of the lineup, especially with D. Gordon out of it, doesn't have a whole lot of speed.
D. Gordon took a foul ball off the foot in his final at bat yesterday, so he is out of the starting lineup. Is available to pinch hit today or pinch run. Most home runs by a trio in Major League Baseball this year. Only the Cincinnati trio of Votto, Schebler, and Duvall have hit more home runs than Ozuna, Stanton, and Bohr.
Man, but the Brewers are first in the league in home runs. Their home run totals are more spread out than a lot of those other teams.
Brewers have 20 out of Eric Thames, but then you got 17 from Travis Shaw, who's not in the lineup today. Shaw gets a day off from the starting lineup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up and in, throw to second, got a chance. The tag, oh, safe. Stanton got back.
They had him dead to rights. That was a good throw by Pena. I'm not sure what Arcia was doing out there at second base. You can see him right here. Not exactly sure what he was trying to do there. Kind of little fancy tag. Kind of overruns the bag. That's number 1, then misses him.
Well, he probably assumed Stanton was going to dive back in. He took the glove to the bag, but Stanton pulled a matrix on him and was able to get back. Extends the inning. 2-1 to count to Bohr now. And a wave and a miss.
Good slide, good splitter today. Good sign.
Good sign early indeed for Junior Guerra. Got a big strikeout of Ozuna with 2 on. Stanton and Yelich still out there. Ready for a 2-2 pitch. And Bohr, a little jam shot. Man is right there. That is Sogard with the shift on, and Junior gets out of the inning. Got a lively crowd today on a Sunday. Brewers Marlins, final game of the series. Milwaukee, great to have you with us here tonight. Roof is all closed up on this Sunday afternoon. Craig Counsell and the Brew Crew. Here's how he will line them up today, courtesy of Potawatomi. Eric Sogard, Eric Thames, and Ryan Braun at the top. Then it goes Santana, Perez, and Pena. Broxton, Arcia, and Guerra round out the starting 9 for the Brewers against a pitcher for the Marlins who has reinvented himself.
Yeah,
Dan Straley.
Yeah, last couple of years have been very good. You can see his numbers when they pop up. There they are, 5-4, a 344 earned run average. Look at the strikeouts for Straley. He's got an outstanding slider. Has never lost to the Brewers. He's 3-0 in 4 starts.
Straley, the former Red, had some time with the Oakland A's. Sogard was teammates with Straley in Oakland, and on the first pitch, Sogard pops it up. Prado's got it for out number 1.
Let's check out the Menards Marlins defense, very solid defensively throughout the year. Ozuna, Yelich left and center. Giancarlo Stanton out in right. Big power, great throwing arm. You got Prado, Riddle, Dietrich, and Bohr in the infield, and JT Realmuto behind home plate.
Eric Thames. Thames back in the starting lineup yesterday. Had a couple of days off. Eric did have a hit yesterday in that Brewers 8-4 win. Zach Davies picked up his 9th win yesterday, beating Tom Kohler, who was out in the 2nd inning coming back from the disabled list. Brewers put together a 7-run 2nd inning. Thames was 1 for 4. Scored a run. Home runs yesterday from Santana and Arcia. Eric's been stuck on 20, which sounds a little unusual to say, but he has been stuck on 20 for a couple of weeks now. Last home run for Thames was on June 17th.
Good off-speed pitch right there for Dan Straley. I think Thames been a little over-aggressive in his at-bats. We've seen Thames swinging the pitches out of the zone, something we didn't see much out of him in his first couple of months.
Numbers are still really good across the board, as streaky as Thames has been. Nice catch by a young fan, by the way. Thames across the statistical board still very impressive and all-star worthy. 906 OPS, 20 homers, 40 runs batted in. And Thames draws the walk. So Eric is aboard. And a man on with 1 out for Ryan Braun.
Yeah, showing good patience on a couple of change-ups, and then finally Straley misses with it. Straley hadn't walked many, only 28 walks coming in 89 innings.
Good to see Ryan Braun out earlier today with his 2 kids. Seen a lifetime out of Braun, it feels like, here now in his 11th season. Was the rookie of the year in 2007, won the MVP in 2011. And Braun now a father of 2, and while he can't stay on the field as much as he'd like to, he's not a guy that's going to play 162 games. He's hoping to get it 130 games this year, but he's already missed a significant chunk of the schedule with a calf strain.
You just got to keep him strong for as many games as you can get out of him at this point.
Braun in the air to left field. That's way back, and this is going to be off the wall. Thames into 3rd. Braun rolls into 2nd with a double.
Boy, amazing strength for Ryan Braun. He got that pitch down on the end of the bat, and it carried pretty well. Crashes off the wall. That's that slider from Straley. Braun was out in front, able to keep the hands back long enough. He uses that big long bat. Ozuna plays it well, and because of that, Thames has to stay at 3rd.
Second and 3rd for the Brewers with 1 away. Here comes Domingo Santana. Santana with an opposite field home run yesterday that was in and out of the glove of Giancarlo Stanton. Oh, big swing right out of his helmet goes Santana. That home run yesterday for Santana was number 14. That started the rally, the 7-run rally for the Brewers in the 2nd inning. He thought he had been robbed of a home run, as did everybody else who was here. Stanton actually had it in the web of his glove, and then when he hit the wall, it popped out of his glove and on the other side. Powerball home run for Santana yesterday in the Service Saros jerseys, and what could have been a robbery ends up as number 14.
You know what? Everybody knew it was a home run when you saw all the folks in that picnic area going after it.
skips away from Real Muto. Nice play, though. Keeps it in front. Thames does not try to score. Marlins have a very athletic young catcher in JT Real Muto. A.J. Ellis is the backup catcher. Thought he might get a start today, the Franklin, Wisconsin resident. But Real Muto has been a workhorse this season.
Yeah, very quick on his feet, and he can run.
I was talking to Ellis about Real Muto. He raves about this young catcher. He thinks he's going to be a star in the game. Good play there. 1-2 into right. That'll get it done. Back is Stanton. He'll make a catch. Thames will score easily. Braun's going to third. And the Brewers strike first here this afternoon. 1-0 Milwaukee on a sacrifice fly by Domingo Santana.
Yeah, good job by Santana. Shortened his stroke up a little bit. It was a slider. And Straley hung that one. He's fortunate that Santana didn't hit that one out of the ballpark. Check that out. Right down the middle. Santana thinking right field all the way, staying on that pitch and driving it deep enough to score the run. He's hung some sliders already today. Got to get these guys early before they settle in.
Hernan Perez will bat with 2 outs. It's another breaking ball that hung up there. It's been the pitch for Straley that has changed his career path. He was kind of hovering around that journeyman back into the rotation starter until last year with the Cincinnati Reds, and he locked into this slider. And those who know him best will tell you that he went through this process in the offseason 2 years ago and still does it now, but to strengthen his shoulder, and he's gone very biomechanical in his approach to his offseason conditioning, and it's made a world of difference.
And whatever it is, it's worked. They have 14-8 last year with the Reds. 376 earned run average, and off to a good start this year.
Went from the Astros to Cincinnati in an under the table trade. There's a liner foul. No one really had much to say about that deal at the time. Straley ended up with the Reds, as Rock mentioned, with those 14 wins, and proved to be a bit of a workhorse. 34 games. He made 31 starts last year and was 8+ innings shy of 200 innings last season. He was out there just about every 5th day. Perez pops it up. This will be playable for Prado. And that will retire the side. But a good start for the Crew. They get a first inning run on an RBI from Santana.
As they go for the sweep over the Marlins. Our scoops from the clubhouse brought to you by Craig Counsell. There is no starter listed for Chase Anderson's spot in the rotation for tomorrow afternoon in the opener against the Orioles, and Craig Counsell saying they likely will wait to make a decision on that until after the game. They obviously have an idea of who they'd like to use, but he said it's more important to get through the game today and try to get the win here today and the sweep. And if you're wondering why not Josh Hader, the question was asked and he said we really like the progress that he's made in the relief role. They want to continue to be cautious with how they're using him. They said they've gotten through kind of a critical phase of making that transition, and they want him to continue to be valuable in that role.
Yeah, and he has been valuable. That has been a big-time left-hander out of the bullpen for the Brewers. It's really helped put the pieces of that bullpen together the way Craig Counsell wants. So I don't blame the manager for not wanting to disrupt that piece of the puzzle.
Well, he's already disrupted him once, right? Taken from the rotation into the bullpen. So why throw it right back? Keep him where he's at, for the time being. It keeps his innings down for this year, and you never know, they're going to make him a starter at some point again.
They figure they're going to be 2 starts to pick up before the All-Star break, and depending on what happens here today, as Sophia mentioned, you could see a scenario with perhaps Suter or Espino in some order piggybacking off of each other tomorrow. The Brewers are carrying 9 relievers right now. They like the consistency of their ball club. Yeah, that's a crowded group in the bullpen right now. All under the watchful eye of Lee Tunnell in the corner. Bullpen coach
Robinson Diaz, Marcus Hanel. So what do you got down there?
That's a strike. I believe it is a called strike. I don't know if it was on the swing or the call, but either way it's an out for Guerra, and it's the 3rd punch out for Junior.
Pretty good pitch, 82. Down and out right on the outside corner. Check it out. What's supposed to be there, but it worked out pretty well. 82 miles an hour with a breaking ball.
Yeah, either way, it looked like a swing and a pitch that was in the strike zone. So the home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt said, take your pick, Martin. There's a fastball strike. Good spot there against Derek Dietrich. So we'll see how we get through the game today, and then we'll figure out the starting pitching situation tomorrow. But either way, whether the Brewers stay internal on their big league roster or go make a move from the minor leagues, you would imagine Craig Counsell knows he's going to have to, or feels like he's going to have to, pick up 4 or 5 innings out of his bullpen tomorrow anyway. So it doesn't mean you won't see Hader tomorrow.
Ideally, you're going to get a nice long start out of Junior here today. Go 6 innings, 6, 7. And you have a lot of options going into tomorrow.
1 ball, 1 strike on Dietrich, who is hit by a pitch. And a base runner with 1 out just clipped him. Well, yesterday the Brewers did use Hader for an inning. Yeah, they got him right on the elbow.
Did it? Barely.
According to Hunter Wendelstedt, it did. Dietrich gets hit a lot. That's the 13th occasion he has been hit by a pitch.
Well, he stands on the plate. He's got that elbow hanging on the inside corner, and he wears that pad.
That's the 2nd most, by the way, in the major leagues. Josh Harrison of the Pirates has been hit more. Brewers are taking a quick peek at this, and Craig Counsell says play on. So Guerra back in the stretch, runner at first with 1 out, and the 8th place hitter JT Riddle at the plate. Now, yesterday the Brewers were able to get to the finish line without having to use Knebel, the closer, or Jacob Barnes, the setup man. Torres, who had pitched a couple of terrific innings on Friday, had the day off as well. So Counsell comes into this game with a well-rested winning version of his bullpen. Yesterday it was Hader for an inning, Hughes for an inning, and then Drake finished it off. He faced just 3 batters and finished off the game in an 8-4 win. It was a good day all the way around for the Brewers yesterday.
And the bullpen really has stepped up as of late. It was a rough stretch for the bullpen. Yeah, but last week or so it's been a pretty good run for these guys.
2 balls, no strikes. Riddle sends one in the air to right, pretty deep. Santana's going back, and he'll have a play. 2 outs. Back to first goes Dietrich.
Hey, there's not a better way to celebrate America's birthday than at America's pastime. The Brewers and Orioles meet in an interleague showdown at Miller Park as the O's come to town for the 4th of July face-off with the Crew. That's tomorrow through Thursday. Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets.
Note the start times for the week: 1:10 tomorrow, 3:10 on Tuesday for the 4th of July, and then 6:10 for the final game of that Baltimore series. Got another day game in Chicago Thursday. The makeup game the Brewers will play against the Chicago Cubs, and then it's off to New York to play the Yankees for 3, last series before the All-Star break. The pitcher, Dan Straley, at the plate. Trying to go with the stealth bunt attempt with 2 outs.
Drop down the bunt. Who's going to run for you? That's what they're saying in the dugout. You know why I know that?
Why is that, Rock?
He used to say that to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The bunt was great. The runner had all kind of problems getting to first base. Yeah, that's it. That's an easy strikeout for Guerra. That's what he needed. He has 4 punch outs through the first 2 innings. Brewers lead 1-0.
Lead for the Brewers, and it was family day here at Miller Park. The Brewers coaches, players, wives all out for the day, and it was a very special day for Corey and Danielle Knebel. They are welcoming their first child in November, and they did their gender reveal right here at Family Day. So Danielle turned the scripts on Corey, pitching to him, making him swing for it, find out that they're having a baby girl. So congratulations to Corey and Danielle, their first girl on the way, sharing some love there with the Hanel family and Anderson as well. And they had been waiting for weeks to do this here at Family Day, wanted to share this just with everybody in their baseball family. So congratulations to them. Great to see them.
That's a pretty cool way to find out if it's going to be a boy or a girl.
Yeah, good thing you didn't miss.
That would have been funny. Have to do it again. That was it's a bit of a tough toss though from Danielle. Corey did a pretty good job.
Good back control.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe he can hit a little bit.
Yep. Congratulations to the Knebels.
There's nothing like a sweet baby girl, is there, Rock?
Right, I know.
I saw 2 of them that belong to you today here at the ballpark. Your granddaughters are here, and man, cute kids.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the gene stopped with you, because these girls are beautiful.
Yep. Daughter Mallory had those 2 bright rays of sunshine. They're just delightful.
Manny Pena leads off for the Brewers here in the 2nd inning.
That was a neat day for the kids and the adults too. You know, the Brewers opened up the ballpark. They let the kids go down Bernie's slide. Madeline, who is almost 5, went down, no trouble.
See, she's brave. She's already more.
I chickened out again.
There's a lot of fun here today. It's good to see these players in a different light as well. It's before the gates open and they're all having fun with their families. They spend enough time away from home, so it's nice to be able to have them in the workplace. Fly ball to right. Stanton gives it a look, and it's up into the seats. One of the few players who could actually catch a ball up there, Giancarlo Stanton, the sizable right fielder of the Marlins. Full count to Manny Pena. Brewers scored a run off Straley in the first inning. Sac fly by Domingo Santana after a walk and a double. Braun had the double. And Pena pops this one up. That will remain playable for Bohr. And there is the first out. On the field before the game today, the family day in full effect. Look at the little Pena right here, the little pineapple. He's got a good swing. Lee Tunnell, his grandson, Brewers bullpen coach. You know the Councils can all play, all four of them. Hernan Perez's daughter. Yeah, good swings. I like that. A little lefty.
Yeah.
And there are the Bronze. You can just put them on a magazine cover right now. So, yep, the families were out every year. Once a year, the Brewers do that. All the kids get jerseys and get to hang out with dad or granddad on the field. Keon Broxton takes a strike. One thing that struck me, though, Rock, looking up, sitting up here in the booth, looking down on Family Day, is how few families there are, how few kids there are, because this team is so young.
Right, they're kids themselves.
There's not a lot of them that have children, unlike years past.
Yeah, that's interesting. There used to be a lot of kids running around.
One and two on Broxton, a little tapper foul.
Didn't see Maddie out there.
Nope. The invitation was extended, but I'm not sure where she is right now, actually.
You don't
She's on
think
the lake somewhere.
She didn't want to go down to down Bernie's slide?
No, she probably would have. That could have been the thing that convinced her to come today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Straley wants to start over. Broxton is fully into the Independence Day gear, more than any other Brewer, I would say, at this point. Socks are on point, stars and stripes. The shoes are terrific.
He's got the Dr. Seuss socks on.
Major League Baseball has really stepped up their sock game in the last couple of years. It's been fun.
Batting gloves.
It's a swing and a miss, and Straley strikes out Broxton.
I tell you, Straley gets by with 90 to 92 mile-an-hour fastballs. Unlike a lot of guys are able to because of his good off-speed stuff.
Orlando Arcia, that bat has been solid here for a good measure now. You go back to May 18th. His .352 batting average is second in the National League, not just among shortstops, but in the entire league. Getting at a .352 clip, and he's jumping on that first pitch. He fouls it away.
You see, much more aggressive. I mean, not just early in the count. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about early in the count, gets a pitch he likes. He's trying to pull it and hit it hard, driving the gap somewhere. Unlike what he was doing early in the season, kind of guiding everything into right field. Not anymore.
Arcia has 76 hits this season. Keep that number in mind. So 34 of those hits, 34 of the 76 hits have come in either an 0-0 count or an 0-1 count. So within the first 2 pitches of the at-bat, that's where half of his hits are coming. 3 of his 7 home runs have come in the first 2 pitches of an at-bat. He's been a very aggressive hitter and successful early in counts. What struck me about the count breakdown for Arcia, in 0-1 counts, he's hitting .607. So when he gets behind 0-1,
right,
he comes back and does major damage.
Does most of his damage first 3 pitches.
It's out and sharply picked up nicely by Prado, and he'll take care of Arcia for the third out.
Which is ordinarily when you get your most fastballs.
It's a beautiful Sunday here in Milwaukee, even though the roof is closed. Very comfortable outside. By the way, you can guarantee your seat for the Bucks' 50th anniversary return to the Mecca game this fall with the Fox Sports Wisconsin 43-game Super Pass. FoxSportsWisconsin.com/upcoming events has all the details for you. Here we go to the third inning now. Marlins coming to bat. JT Realmuto will lead off for Miami. Had a little rain shower come through here about a half hour before the game today. They closed up the roof. Some thunderstorms out there, but feels great here in Milwaukee. Broxton is back. That's over his head, and it's going to bounce out. That'll be a ground rule double for Realmuto, who leads all catchers in the major leagues in hits. That's his 71st hit of the season as a catcher. And he is aboard with a leadoff double in the third inning.
Yep, got a first pitch. It looked like a slider. All of a sudden, Garrett throwing sliders, curveballs. You know, really, last year didn't see a whole lot of that. That one over the head of Broxton, wasn't playing that deep. And not thinking Realmuto hit over his head. He did.
Ball bounced out for a double. Otherwise, Realmuto might end up at third. That'll bring up Stanton now. Guerra's just having a hard time with the comfortable inning. He is pitching with a lot of runners on base. Just doesn't have his A stuff as we saw last year. His best pitch is that splitter, and he's been able to throw a few good ones in this game when he's needed it. Struck out Ozuna with 2 on with that splitter in the first inning. This just might be the new Junior Guerra of 2017. I mean, what we saw last year for a guy who had not been starting, and we had never seen. He was a late bloomer, to say the least. How about a 31-year-old rookie in the major leagues? So we really don't have a book on Junior Guerra. You find that out after a few years in the big leagues.
You've got to make big time adjustments when you lose 5 miles an hour on your fastball. He's throwing 90, 91. As opposed to 94 to 96 last year. You can get away with that at that velocity up in the strike zone. Basically high fastball splitter last year. He's a 4-pitch pitcher now.
1-2 the count, and a fastball missed inside on Stanton. Straightened him up though. Guerra was the Brewers pitcher of the year last year. Earned him an opening day assignment this season. What a story he was a year ago. Finished with an ERA of 2.81. Got a Stanton a swing and a miss, a wild swing, and Guerra with that nasty off-speed delivery picks up yet another K. That's the 5th on the splitter.
Yep, split-fingered fastball down, never was a strike, and Stanton just waves at it. Yeah, you keep this guy in the ballpark and you minimize the damage that he can do, you have a good chance of beating this team. Brewers have done a good job on him.
Guerra's done a pretty good job keeping the ball in the ballpark this year as well, other than his last start when he gave up 4 home runs. Pickoff play at second, and Arcia comes in behind Real Muto. Brewers do that often as well, all part of their run prevention unit, as Craig Counsell calls them. Throwing out runners trying to steal, back picks by catchers, pickoff plays from pitchers to infielders. It's all part of the process and something they work on a lot.
Yeah.
And you've got a great shortstop who is the quarterback out at second base for those pickoffs as well.
And a lot of these guys playing unusual spots. I mean, you'll see Perez over in the second base position, Arcia in short right field. So you got to have pretty good athletes to be able to, make adjustments like that. And the Brewers have that indeed.
No balls and a strike on Yelich. Strike 2. 0-2 the count. Junior is a native of Venezuela. He got a little big league time in 2015 with the White Sox out of the bullpen, but then got a great opportunity. Started the year in the minor leagues for the Brewers and got a golden opportunity not just to come to the big leagues but be a starter at the urging of Brewers first base coach and infield coach Carlos Subero, who knew Guerra well from his time pitching in the Venezuelan Winter League. And he took that spot in the rotation and didn't let it go. Subero was telling us that Guerra was a household name in Venezuela in the Winter League. Even though he hadn't done it at the major league level, he was always one of the premier starters in the Caribbean leagues in Venezuela. And Rock, as you know, because you spent some time down there, that is some high level baseball with some high level pressure applied to it, especially when you're from the country you are representing for these individual teams.
Yeah, you're expected to play even if you're a big star over here in the major leagues, and they kind of consider it to be a snub if you don't at least play a little bit, maybe a couple of weeks, a month maybe. But winter ball in Latin America is huge. I played in Puerto Rico one year and they draw big crowds, and the local guys are expected to play for their teams.
Guerra's from San Felix, Venezuela. Runner at second, 1 away, 2-2 to Yelich. It's in the dirt. Nice play by Pena. And Real Muto back to second base.
Played in Puerto Rico for Mayaguez in 1983. The bubble year where you're going between the big leagues and AAA. You're trying to hone your skills. Went to Mayaguez. I played over there with Dan Gladden and Randy Reddy were on my team. Remember Juan Augusto?
Sure.
Left-handed
reliever.
Yeah.
Astros.
Yeah. He was there.
Yeah. A lot of times what you do in the winter leagues can propel you to a big league career if you have success down there. Yelich draws the walk, and the Marlins have 2 on now with 1 away. That's the second walk issued by Guerra. He's also hit a batter.
I think I told this story on Friday, but bear with me. Don Manning was there in that league that year, learning, as a Yankee, learning how to play first base. He was an outfielder when he came up. Mattingly was on a team, I forget what team it was. He learned how to play first base in the Puerto Rican League, Winter League.
Get some more at bats and hone your skills, and I think a lot of organizations like the Winter League setup because it does apply a little pressure on players to perform as well. Gets them out of their comfort zone a little bit. Those who are not from those particular countries. But you take Guerra, so the winter before he arrived in Milwaukee, when I talk about a season or a winter season that can propel you into a chance in the majors, Guerra was a starter in the Winter League in Venezuela, had a 2.86 ERA the winter prior to getting called up. But that all leads me to this question, Rock. All of these Winter League appearances by Guerra, then last year, the first time ever in his career, he's been a full-time starter every day in the majors. Did not participate in Winter League this past season, but that's a lot of innings in a condensed amount of time for him.
Yeah, particularly the way he finished. You know, in the big leagues, I mean, DL, they shut him down, and maybe that had something to do with this year. Who knows? I don't know. Gets you out of your routine a little bit, perhaps. He threw more innings last year than he ever did. Maybe that has something to do with it. A guy that's not used to doing that.
Two balls and a strike on Ozuna. 2 men on for the Marlins here in the third. And Ozuna sends one to center field, and he's watching this one. That is going to be high off the scoreboard, and it's a 3-run home run for Ozuna. And the Marlins have taken the lead on a quick strike by Ozuna, his 21st home run of the year.
You know, anything down and away, something off speed, off the plate, he is just swinging for the fences, and Junior Guerra gave him one right down the middle. This is not a pitch you can get away with Ozuna. I mean, he's had a rough series because they've been pitching him off the plate, and he's been hacking. He got one down the middle that time.
Ozuna just hit his 8th career home run at Miller Park. This guy hasn't been around that long. And he gives the Marlins a 3-1 lead, and the home run bites Junior Guerra once again. Marcell Ozuna has 15 career hits at Miller Park. 8 of them are now homers.
Yeah.
21 homers, 58 runs batted in for Ozuna. Man, what a year.
He takes a mighty hack, I will say that. I mean, anything middle in, he's going to give it a pretty good ride. You can pitch this guy out of the zone, but you got to get ahead of him with good stuff. You fall behind, you give him a fastball to hit, that's what happens.
Justin Bour gets jammed, and a pop-up foul. Leadoff double, a 1-out walk, and then a 3-run home run by Ozuna. 3-1 Marlins. And a swing and a miss. Bour strikes out. Strikeout number 6 with 2 outs in the 3rd inning.
Well, off-speed pitch. It was up a little bit, but it was the speed that got Bour on strikes. Splitter. Watch where it ends up. That's not where you want to leave it. He's underneath it. That was what you call a hanging splitter, but the velocity choked it off a little bit and had him out in front like a changeup.
2 men are out. Here is Martin Prado. Takes a strike. Prado starts at 3rd base today. They moved Dietrich over to 2nd base with Dee Gordon out. Dee Gordon is available to pinch hit and pinch run. He is not in the starting lineup. Terrific second baseman of the Marlins. That lessens their defense a little bit. It's been a very good defensive team for the Marlins this year. One and 2 on Prado. Prado's had a terrific career in the majors. He's been an all-star. Made an all-star team in 2010. And a base hit up the middle. Inning is alive for the Marlins. That is their 3rd hit of the inning and their 4th base runner. Prado now on a 7-game hitting streak.
And shortens up and just punches one, a fastball in the outside corner. As far as location, it was right on the corner, but it was up, giving Prado a chance to get a bat on it.
So that'll bring Dietrich to the plate, who was hit by a pitch his last time up. There's that protective padding on his lead elbow. That's where he was grazed by a Junior Guerra fastball last time up. Dietrich gives you a look that there's a lot of room to work with, but notice the back foot for Dietrich and how close it is to the inside corner of the left-handed hitter's batter's box. That's a shot into center field. He got it on the barrel just a little, or on the label I should say, and that's going to be an easy out for Broxton. But the Marlins strike Marcell Ozuna with a 3-run homer. 3-1 Marlins.
Afternoon in baseball, we go out to Great American Ballpark, where Ian Happ is having quite a day at the plate. He's already 3 for 3, has a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning, had a solo home run in the 4th inning, and then followed it up with an RBI single in the 6th. So he single-handedly has driven in all 4 runs for the Cubs. They currently have a 4-0 lead, and the Cubs here are trying to salvage a sweep from the Reds as they dropped the first 2 games there in Cincinnati.
All right, Sophia, thanks for the update. Chris Bryant back in the lineup today for the Chicago Cubs. He has a hit today as well. Cubs have been an enigma, and the Brewers are hoping they continue as an enigma for 3 more months.
Right. Really haven't been able to get things going, have they?
Boy, look out. Bat goes in the stands. Ball goes up into the loge level. And Guerra will need a new piece of lumber. Maybe a little more of the stickum.
Little glue stick. I mean, they keep a good grip on that bat.
I think everybody's okay. Yeah, that one. You're not expecting a bat to come helicoptering your way.
He's probably hoping that Junior was using a Ryan Braun bat.
Guerra sends one into left center. And Ozuna will make the catch for the out.
Be a nice prize.
I mean, it's possible. Used to be pitchers didn't really have their own bats. Their bats said something like pro stock on them, but nowadays everybody's got their own bats with their name on it.
Yeah, they have their name on their gloves and
elbow
batting
pads.
gloves, you know, everything's personalized.
That's the way it should be. It's the big leagues.
Yeah.
Top of the order, here is Eric Sogard. Brewers scored a run off Straley in the first inning. Marcell Ozuna just hit a 3-run homer in the third to give the Marlins the lead. Straley is a fast worker. Pitches to contact. And works the edges, as you can see, given a strike there on a pitch looked like it was high. Sogard, incredible run getting on base, second in all of Major League Baseball since May 12th when he arrived. 446 on base percentage coming into this at bat. He popped up to third base his first time up, and a ground ball to short. Riddle for out number 2. Well, we're gaining on the All-Star game. Don't miss the can't miss event of the summer. It hits South Beach this year. Baseball's biggest stars taking the field for the MLB All-Star game July 11th. It is only on Fox. You wonder if Eric Thames will make it to the All-Star game. He's having an All-Star worthy season statistically. He's been a streaky hitter, but the overall numbers hold up well across baseball.
All-Star selections tonight, isn't it?
That's right. Tonight on ESPN, you can find out who the All-Stars will be. There are 3 waves of All-Stars, the fan vote for the starters, and then you've got the managers vote and then the players vote. Corey Knebel certainly has a chance to be an All-Star, which would be his first All-Star team. Record setter, the closer.
Yeah, the way his first half has gone, be surprised, be stunned if he didn't make it. His numbers are off the charts.
Leads all relievers in strikeouts. Only thing hurting Knebel is the fact he wasn't the closer to start the year. He didn't take over until mid-May. But Knebel did set the record for most consecutive games with at least 1 strikeout. That is a major league record. He first set a record most consecutive games to start a year, and then he set the major league record, passing Bruce Sutter. There's a high fly ball, and Thames will watch this one. A long home run by Eric Thames, number 21. And Bernie will hit the slide. It's 3-2 Marlins.
My.
First one since June 17th.
Boy, that was a blast. That one almost went off the facing of the dew deck up there.
Through the gauntlet he goes. Eric Thames, that's got to feel good to unleash.
Fastball outer half. He just hooks it way back. He wanted to watch that one. How far will it go?
Yeah, that was way back. Tape measure job by Thames. And the Brewers are within a run. So 21 homers, 41 runs batted in for Eric Thames. Now Braun sends one deep into right center. Stanton is back at the wall. Going to make the catch for the out. Well, it had the sound, but it was too high, and Braun ends up with a long, loud out. But Eric Thames, from the KBO to the National League, destroys one for his 21st homer, sending Bernie down the slide. A quick trip. 3-2 Marlins. June 17th. He had a run of 4 consecutive homers back in mid-June, and he's all smiles. Puts the Brewers within a run as we go to the 4th inning. Marlins now lead at 3-2. Brewers scored a run in the first on a Santana sac fly. That was set up by a Braun double, and then Thames goes deep. So here we go to the 4th inning. Guerra back to work, facing JT Riddle to start it.
We had some folks from the KBO up here in the booth. Maybe just their presence from the Korean League inspired Thames here today.
That's a good point. They were telling us there's a bouncing ball back up the middle, a base hit for JT Riddle. Now we had a contingency from the Korean baseball organization here, and they're with the Kia team, and they thanked us for taking Thames away because Thames was on the rival team of these guys who are here today, and they said thank you for taking him away from the KBO because he was quite the nuisance the last 3 years on their team. It's great to have our visitors from the KBO.
Yeah, but they still follow Eric over there and said they watch some of the games. Recognize your voice right away. Of course, everybody does, right? Every sport.
We had a long chat, and then we were talking, and then he realized, oh, this is the guy that we're listening to with all those highlights. They watch the highlights.
Right.
So that's kind of cool that you and I are on in Korea, and you might be a big star over there, Rock. You never know.
I'm very rarely on highlights.
You're just a constant highlight every day. Straley trying to bunt, and he takes a ball. And now it's 3-0.
It's a lot of you and Bob Uecker up on the scoreboard before the game when they review games. Every now and again, Matt LePay.
If they ran highlights of promos, you'd be right there.
Don't let this happen to you. Highlights, you mean?
There's a strike.
We do get a lot of practice. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for one right now. I got it in my hand.
I see that. Very anxious to
they
deliver.
automatically just every inning, and here they come. Just matter whether we can fit them in.
3 balls and a strike. And that's ball 4. Boy, Junior Guerra walking the pitcher. And now 2 on with nobody out.
Well, speaking of which, hey, get live broadcast scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com at bat. Maybe that's what they use over in the KBO, the Korean League, to keep an eye on Eric Thames. The official app of the Brewers. Download at bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
I think that's a pretty good guess. Derek Johnson is out for a visit with Guerra. Again, just base runners every inning. This is about how his starts are going. And he is most often able to pitch out of it and get out of these jams. It did not happen that way in his last start, though, when the Cincinnati Reds roughed him up. 4 homers, 8 earned runs allowed. But just a lot of traffic on base behind Guerra. 71 pitches. 30 of those are outside the strike zone. We're only in the 4th inning.
Yeah, ideally like to be about 2-1 if you're a guy like Guerra. That's where he was last year. Almost 1-1 today.
Well, now the work begins. 3rd time through the batting order. 2 on, nobody out for JT Realmuto. Little flare, foul. Thames gives it a run. That'll be in the seats. Guerra, when he's not striking out batters, and he does get a lot of strikeouts with that splitter and has 6 of them already today, he's typically a fly ball pitcher. Doesn't get a whole lot of ground ball double plays.
Matter of fact, doesn't have a ground ball out.
He's got 6 strikeouts, 3 fly ball outs. Got that one by Real Muto, and it's 1-2 now. Marlins have 5 hits. 3 of them coming last inning in a 3-run inning. All courtesy of 1 swing of the bat by Marcell Ozuna. Nice block by Pena.
Very nice.
That keeps the double play threat available.
Like a brick wall back there. Hardly anything gets by him.
In the Captain America gear from Manny Pena.
Yep, hit him right in the stars.
Marlins have a couple of JTs in their lineup most days. JT Real Muto and JT Riddle, catcher and shortstop. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Guerra. Boy, he needed that one. Runners have to stay put. Good work behind the plate by Pena on a couple of pitches in the dirt, and Real Muto is retired. Strikeout number 7.
Yep, on the splitter. Not a whole lot of downward movement on it, but good velocity, taking a little bit off and had him out in front.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton on the ground. Coming in, Arcia to second, Sogard to first, and a double play. How about that? Junior Guerra able to get out of an early mess. Giancarlo Stanton bounces into a 6-4-3 double play. Well done by Arcia. The turn by Sogard. Inning over. Brewers down a run.
We head to the 4th here, our minor league report. We take a look at the Carolina Mudcats, who yesterday completed their biggest comeback victory of the season. They trailed by 5 runs in the 2nd, but Isan Diaz came up in the 8th with a pinch hit, go-ahead 2-run single. Again, they came back from 5 down to defeat the Dash 6-5 at 5 County Stadium. So well done, Mudcats. That's a big one. They had trailed by 5 in the 2nd, were able to put together rallies in the 4th and the 6th, and then Diaz, the hero, in the 8th.
That's a guy to watch. Hassan Diaz. He had a great year last year in Appleton for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and that was the guy the Brewers got in a trade with the Diamondbacks. He is a prospect to watch. Good report there, Sophia. Domingo Santana leads off and rips one into left field, a base hit. He wasn't wasting any time this time around. And Santana had a good long battle against Australia's last time up that resulted in a sac fly on the first pitch.
That fastball, middle in, and look at him get the bat head out very quick. That bat on the inside corner. Hit a bullet to right his first time up, and a smash into left this time. So covering both sides of the plate pretty well.
Puts the tying run on here in the fourth inning. Here comes Hernan Perez. Perez had been playing a lot of left field with Braun out. He's getting his 12th start at third base today. Most of his starts this year, or the most, have come as a left fielder, 24. But he started games at 5 different positions. I'm sorry, 6 different positions. And the second most oft position he has started in would be third base. So he's a shortstop by trade. And what counsel says about him is that he's good everywhere he goes. He's a plus defender at every position. So it's one thing to have a guy who plays all over. It's another to have a guy that can play it at a plus level, at a above average level.
Well, not just the physical part of it, the subtleties of every position that he plays. He's very good. He's a good baseball guy. He's got a high baseball IQ. That's what Craig Counsell likes to refer to Perez. The IQ, just a smart player.
Perez popped up to third his first time up. HP, as teammates call him. You might hear that occasionally in the interviews with Sophia. He started one of the best relays we've seen this season on Friday night. That was a game saver. He backed up a deep drive into left center and then picked the ball up off the wall, fired it to Arcia, who then fired it to Vogt at the plate to cut down what would have been the tying run in the 9th inning. Thrilling play it was. And while Arcia gets a lot of the credit and deserves a lot of the credit, Hernan Perez, when you think about the distance of his throw from the wall basically to the skin of the dirt on a line right on the mark.
Yeah, the first throw dictates whether you're going to be able to get an out on the bases, and that throw was perfect.
In the dirt. Nice pick back there by Real Muto. Check this out. This was Friday against Knebel. And Broxton couldn't make the play, but Perez with a cannon to Arcia right in the wheelhouse to make the pivot in the turn to the plate. Did go to review, and it ended up as a huge out.
And basically, you know, Arcia didn't have to go out very far, making his throw a lot easier because of the arm strength of Perez.
Perez, little lazy fly ball to right. One away.
And that was the first out of the inning. So Freddie Gonzalez very aggressive, you know, sending the runner. You never want to make the first out at home plate, particularly the tying run in the 9th. Well, Brewers got a break. Good defense. Questionable decision by the Marlins to send them in the first place.
Thrilling win for the Brewers. 3-2 victory. And then Milwaukee answered with another win yesterday, 8-4. So now they are here in game 3 with a chance to sweep. Santana with a leadoff single. He's at first with 1 out. Manny Pena popped up to the first baseman Bohr his last time up. Seems like whenever the Brewers are in a specialty uniform, Manny Pena has a memorable game. had a game-winning home run on Mother's Day with the pink accents. Had a clutch home run on Father's Day with the light blue accents. And now he's in the Stars and Stripes.
I can't wait till 4th of July. What's he going to do then, right? I like the unis. I'm not sure about the socks. Manny's not wearing them. Keon is on deck.
Stars and Stripes.
What do you think?
I'm in.
You in?
Oh yeah. It looks good on some people. Wouldn't look good on you, Rock.
No.
It'd be tough to get those socks up and over your enormous calves up to the knee. You'd have to probably fold them over.
Stretch them out a little bit.
Stretch those things out.
You got to stick them in the sink first.
They fit over calves. They don't fit over cows, though. 1-2 pitch. Down low. Did you ever wear your pant legs up to the knees like that?
No.
Old school?
No.
No, you were more into the skin tight polyester down to the shoe tops.
Yeah, back in the mullet days, that's the way it was.
Yeah,
didn't wear the baggy uniform.
The pants and the mullet were a very interesting combo, and they had to work together.
You know what we used to wear all the time? I mean, you know, the white socks with the sanitary stripe that was actually knitted into the sock. That's what we wore.
Taking laziness to an all new level.
That way they were always straight.
Yeah, back in the sanitary sock combo stirrups age of baseball.
Yeah, it was.
Ask your parents about that, kids.
Yeah, it was one sock, white sock, a little thicker than a regular sanitary sock, but they had the blue stripe, you know, going up, looked like a sanitary sock or a stirrup.
Cut down on the laundry significantly.
Right.
Pena strikes out. Good breaking ball from Straley, and that'll be a strikeout, his second of the game. 2 gone in the inning now, and here comes Broxton.
And you know what you used to do before that? You know, you used to pull them all the way up.
Yeah.
Then you put tape, athletic tape around you below your knee. That's
Right.
always good for circulation.
Especially for a catcher.
Especially for a catcher, yeah. I mean, you kind of wrap it around your legs. And what were you thinking? Not sure.
Baseball fashion has come a long way.
And smarts.
I actually really like the old baseball fashion. You know, the old wool. The wool uniforms, they weren't very good for the players, especially in the summer months, but they had a really cool look about them, that vintage wool look, you know. But you get into the 80s, you know, back in your era, and the polyester, the sand knits, and that was not a great era for uniforms, I'm afraid to tell you.
Yeah.
We're in a good place right now.
No belts.
Yeah, no belts. And remember the White Sox wore shorts?
Yeah.
One year their uniforms had shorts and collars.
Big lapels, collars.
I mean, come on. Horrible.
It was an experimental phase for baseball.
Straley is giving Broxton all kind of trouble. You can just tell Broxton's body language between pitches. He knows he is going to need a mistake to do any damage, because he has swung and missed often at Straley's slider. Straley's in the driver's seat here, 1-2. And Broxton takes it. That's a good sign. Keon's got plenty of pop. 13 home runs this year. He's hit some of the longest home runs the Brewers have had this year. The slider gives him trouble. Runner goes, and the pitch is low. That's going to be a stolen base for Domingo Santana. Straley paying no mind to Santana.
And because of that, and because of the big jump, Realmuto doesn't even bother. That's the old Ted Simmons theory. If you're not going to give me a chance, I'm not going to waste my time. Uncontested stolen base. Walking lead, and Realmuto doesn't even bother. Of course, the pitch was in the dirt.
Stolen base number 8. Base hit will tie the game now. Full count to Broxton. And he pulls one foul. That's a good play. A lot of sliders here from Straley.
And he doesn't have a whole lot on the slider. He's talking about, between 82 and 85 miles an hour. And fastball is barely 91 miles an hour, 91, 92 maybe.
Hasn't thrown one in the box yet, but he's got a 3-2 count. And now Broxton into center field. He's a little late. Skies it to Yelich. And the final out of the inning. Brewers strand a runner at second base. 3-2 Miami as we go to the 5th. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, Junior Guerra muscling his way through this start. He's given up a 3-run home run to Marcell Ozuna. However, Guerra has 7 strikeouts, just got a double play ball to end the 4th inning. And here we go to the 5th. 3-2 Miami. Brewers got their runs in the 1st and the 3rd. Domingo Santana had a sac fly in the 1st inning that was set up by a Ryan Braun double. And then Eric Thames launched a 402-foot homer to right in the 3rd. And Thames with his 21st home run of the season. The very talented center fielder of the Marlins, Christian Yelich, been on twice. He singled his first time up, then he walked and scored in the 3rd. And he hits one sharply, through for a base hit again. And it's a lead single for Yelich. And Guerra back into the stretch and more base runners to deal with.
Yeah, 3rd inning in a row where the Marlins have been able to get their leadoff hitter on. All 3 times with base hits. Yeah, high fastball. Yelich able to turn on it, get enough of it to muscle it into right.
That's the 10th base runner of the game for the Marlins. They have 6 hits. There's a swing and a miss by Ozuna. The one pitch Guerra wishes he could have back was the center cut fastball he threw to Ozuna back in the 3rd inning. Ozuna didn't miss it. Launched a 3-run shot. His 21st home run of the year. No balls and a strike. Ozuna Fouls it out of play. It's quickly 0-2. Now third inning rocket, a 1-0 Brewer lead, and Guerra tried to sneak a fastball by Ozuna, and he didn't miss it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be inside. You saw where it ended up, right down the middle, and Ozuna knocked it out of here. Takes a big hack, doesn't shorten up too much. Junior just got away with a hanging curveball.
Ozuna and Thames joining Giancarlo Stanton with 21 home runs, good enough for third best in the National League. Carlos Torres is getting loose in the bullpen. He was terrific in Friday's comeback win. Very similar story as what we have here. Torres came in for Matt Garza, was able to bridge the gap with a couple of innings, and then the Brewers took the lead in the 7th. Ozuna lines one to right, base hit. 2 men on to start the 5th. Base hit number 7 for the Marlins.
Now these are all fastballs that last year Guerra, with the extra velocity, is going to get pop-ups or maybe a weak ground ball somewhere, but at 91, 92 miles an hour, they become very hittable. And Ozuna doing a good job just shooting that one into right field on a pitch away. That was 89 miles an hour that time. So Junior having a difficult time consistently getting his fastball over 90 miles an hour.
It is a concerning drop in velocity. It's a very strange game for Guerra. He's getting a lot of swings and misses, and he has 7 strikeouts, but he's given up 7 hits. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Justin Bour, who's 0 for 2. Shift is on for Bour.
Yeah, most of them, everybody on the right side, but Perez has to stay put. So that Christian Yelich just doesn't walk over to third base. Got to stay close enough to make a play over there.
And a line drive in the corner that is down, and one hopped off the wall. In to score is Yelich. Ozuna will go to third, and into second with a double is Justin Bour. Third straight hit. Marlins have added to their lead. It's now 4-2.
Another fastball, this time inside, but Bour able to hit it hard down the line. Actually right down the middle of the plate. Check it out. Supposed to be inside. Look where it ends up. Center cut, crosshairs right down the middle of the plate, and Bour rips it down the line.
And the Marlins knocking at the door of a big inning right here, and Craig Counsell, sensing that, is going to make a double switch. So Counsell has seen enough, and Guerra will exit after 4+ innings, and his struggles continue. Brewers have a starting pitcher in Chase Anderson, who is on the DL, and Guerra, who is having a hard time putting the pieces together. So a pitching change and a defensive change as well will set him up when we come back. Guerra is on his way out. dugout, knowing that he's lost a lot on his fastball. He's working hard to try to get through these games, Rock, but there's just nothing there to offer by way of the heater.
Yeah, you're talking, 88 to 92, 91 mostly for Junior Gary. You see the location of some of these fastballs. Not too bad. That one to Bohr was right down the middle, but again, with the lack of velocity, I mean, relative to last year, the location, at 94 to 96. I mean, you can get outs with location like that, but when you lose that much velocity, those same pitches become base hits.
So it'll be Carlos Torres into pitch. The Brewers make a number of changes here. Jonathan Villar is the other end of the double switch, the position side. He'll come into play second, which is going to send Sogard over to third base, which will send Hernan Perez to center field. Keon Broxton is the player that is out of the game. He made the last out. So obviously Counsell hoping to get multiple innings out of Carlos Torres, and he is on to pitch with runners at second and third and nobody out, and a run in. Torres did a great job holding the Marlins at 3 on Friday night, or at 2 I should say, allowing the Brewers to come back and win that game Friday 3-2. Second and third, Martin Prado at the plate. Torres relies on a cut fastball as his main pitch.
Yeah, Carlos been pretty good. Last 4 times out, has not allowed a run. Covers 6 innings. Got a win on Friday.
Torres has been unscored upon in his last 4 outings, as Rock mentioned, covering 6 innings of work. He did let an inherited runner score. That one's a strike. It's tough to come into a spot like this and not allow an inherited runner to score when you got second and third and nobody out. So that stat can be a little bit deceiving.
Right, but he's been doing a pretty good job. Only 4 of 12 inherited runners have scored this year.
That's a good number, because he's the guy that normally comes in with all kind of runners on base. That's a fly ball to right. Santana eases back. He'll wind it up, fire to the plate, and they'll stop the runner. How about Ozuna deciding not to challenge a throw by Santana? I think Freddie Gonzalez might be a little gun shy over there at third base, sensing a big inning.
And knowing that Santana's got a good arm, I think he scores easy, because the throw is a difficult one for Manny to handle. It was kind of an in-between hop. It goes off his chest. Did a real good job keeping it in front. Ozuna with a couple of hard steps, checking out the flight of the baseball, and he goes back.
Well, now an intentional walk to Derek Dietrich will load the bases, and Torres will face the rookie JT Riddle. Pitcher spot due up after that. Will be interesting to see if Straley will hit. I'm sure he will in the 5th inning, but Marlins sensing an opportunity to score here. But there is a way out of this inning now for Carlos Torres. Got to handle the 8th place hitter first.
Yeah, I can't imagine Straley being pinch hit for. Here he comes, and the bullpen quiet down there in right field.
Marlins had to get into their bullpen in the 2nd inning yesterday. So Craig Counsell essentially says to Carlos Torres, we're going to let you face the number 8 hitter and then the pitcher to try to get out of this inning, versus the 7 and 8 hitter and have the pitcher lead off the next inning. There's a chopper, foul. 2-1 to count. Remember the game on Friday night? The Marlins had a chance to bust it wide open. They had a 2-0 lead at the time. They had the bases loaded and Ozuna at the plate. Garza struck out Ozuna. Brewers were able to come back and take the lead in that game and win that game 3-2. This is one of those moments again for the Marlins.
I think the cut fastball is back for Carlos Torres. There was a period of time where that thing was just spinning up there, not moving a whole lot, but his last few outings, it's been much better. Late movement going into left-handers, getting in on their hands.
Here's a big pitch. Key moment in the game right now in the Marlins half of the 5th inning. Run is in, and Torres misses down and in, and now it's 3-2 with the bases loaded. Ozuna, Bohr, and Dietrich. Terrific young shortstop here, JT Riddle. Marlins traded Adeiny Echeverria to the Tampa Bay Rays to make room for a couple of their young shortstops, Riddle being one of them. Everything inside. Torres deals, and another swing and a foul, and another one down and in.
Yeah, it looked like Riddle is in swing mode right there. That pitch out of the strike zone.
We'll see what Torres does here. 3-2 pitch and a bouncing ball. Got a chance to turn it. And Arcia fires to first and not in time. Oh, close play. The Brewers will take a look at this one. VR to Arcia. Did it about as fast as you can. And now Counsell wants to take a look.
And they want to go right away. I think this is going to be a quick one. Look at his throwing arm for Arcia. Man, yeah,
that is bang bang.
Yeah,
huh?
it's going to be close, but why not? This is a good challenge for Craig Counsell.
Oh, you don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn it. It has to make contact with the glove. This will be a big call here. If it is overturned, it'll end the inning. And the Marlins would have gotten only one in the inning.
Look like it could be one of these where whatever is called on the field would have stood. First base umpire John Lipka called him safe.
Joe West is the crew chief. He's over there to deliver the news. It's out of the hands of the umpires on the field. This is in the hands of the replay crew in New York.
Let's watch the toe, the front of the foot. Boy, that is as close as it gets. It's a huge call.
Well, now you're at the mercy of interpretation. Is there enough to overturn? My guess is there is not, but
yeah, we don't know.
We've seen it go the other way before. And they're taking a good long look. Here comes the result. The call is out. Oh, that is a big one. Wow. A double play to end the inning. 4-6-3 double play to cut down a speedy runner at first. The Marlins get just one. Call is overturned. Good challenge by Counsell. On, able to get out of a mess. He had second and third, nobody out. Gets out of a bases loaded jam with this double play ball off the bat of JT Riddle.
Yeah, the first pitch that was away from Riddle, and he rolls over on it. And all the athleticism of VR and Arcia make this even close. The safe call is made at first base, but in a very close review, the Brewers get a call there. That's a break.
That is a break. Here's Arcia now leading off for Milwaukee. Takes a ball.
Those two guys are quick up the middle, are they not? Boy, oh boy, the drop step by VR put something on the feed over to Arcia, and he had the big arm to get the out.
And remember, VR had just come in on the double switch, so he did not start here today. That was his first chance. And no matter who's out there, the Brewers have the keystone combination is always plus for Milwaukee. The second baseman and shortstop combo. Whether it's Sogard and Arcia or VR and Arcia. That ball's hit into deep left center. Arcia sends it back. This is going to go. A game tie. No, excuse me, a solo home run to make it 4-3. And Arcia's done it again. Back-to-back games with home runs for Orlando Arcia, number 8 on the year.
Well, is he not being more aggressive, pulling the baseball? Or the kid's something else. And just amazing what he's been able to do. The transformation of Arcia from an opposite field hitter just punching the ball to right. Now a guy that's turning on pitches and has become a force in that batting order. That's a hanging slider. He jumps all over it. And the Brewers get one back.
He hit a first pitch slider out yesterday to deep right center. Jonathan VR, his first at bat, coming in on the double switch. Well, how about that switch in momentum right there? You go from a bases loaded 1-out situation for the Marlins, looking to put a big punch into the game, get a double play. Next half inning, a leadoff home run. The Brewers get the run right back that the Marlins scored in the 5th. And now it's 4-3 as VR, a big swing and a miss. Jonathan does have an RBI single in this series. That came yesterday, part of the 7-run inning. And Straley strikes him out for the first out.
Yeah, this is on a 1-2 count. Straley hangs a slider, and check him out. The young man able to get the bat head out. Watch the point of contact out in front. Nice easy swing. He's not over swinging at all. Straley makes a mistake and he knocks it out of the ballpark.
Bullpen having some fun, their own cheering mechanism.
Tell you what, about 6 weeks ago, he'd have served that one and dumped that one into right. You know, everything to right field. It's almost like he flipped the switch and said, I'm going to start pulling the baseball.
Sogard with a swing and a miss.
Early in the year, he's staying on the ball. He's trying to get comfortable in that batter's box. He and Darnell Cole's working on going to the opposite field. He was a pull hitter in the minor leagues. Good stuff.
It's okay to be a pull hitter if you know your strike zone and if you know the pitches you can pull. They've taken the reins off of him. But you give him a lot of credit, Rock, for early in the season. He's in a slump. He's trying to get it back together, going the other way. Even inside pitches, he's taking that inside out approach. It's a broken bat, little bouncer over to Bohr. And Sogard is retired, out number 2. Orlando Arcia, that spray chart about as balanced as you can get it, but it is heavily weighted with the left field hits over the last 3 weeks.
It's just about learning yourself as a hitter in the major leagues, making adjustments to how they're pitching it. Early in the year, he was serving everything to right. They started to pitch him inside. He made the adjustment. He was taking even fastballs in the right field. Well, all of a sudden, the confidence in the batter's box. And now he understands. He knows he can hit in the big leagues. A lot of it's confidence.
Solid day of Thames at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Hit number 21 back in the 3rd inning. It's a tough matchup for Straley here. He does not have that window with that slider against Thames. Brewers have 3 runs on 4 hits. 2 of those hits were homers. Thames in the 3rd, Arcia here in the 5th. One ball, 2 strikes to count. Thames over to Bohr. Nice pickup, and he hits the pitcher covering the bag to end the inning. Marlins get one on the top of the 5th. The Brewers answer. Get one right back. Orlando Arcia, home run number 8. And it's 4-3 Fish as we go to the 6th inning.
Another home run here today. The Brewers down by 1, and just in time for the 2nd half, the Brewers are launching a new ticket subscription program called the Ballpark Pass, and includes tickets to every Brewers home game the rest of the season for just $29.99 a month. To learn more, go to brewers.com/ballparkpass.
Great way to come see us here at Miller Park. We'd love to have you. Pennant race baseball, folks. Brewers have a 3-game lead in the National League Central starting play today. Leading the Cubs. Carlos Torres back to work after getting through the 5th inning. Got all 3 outs of the 5th, including that key double play, the 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Marlins stranded 2. They did get 1 run in that inning. Closed the book on Guerra with 4 earned runs in 4+. Arcia is homered to give the Brewers their 3rd run, and within a run as we go to the 6th. Straley leads off, the Marlins pitcher. Straley actually walked his last time up. He was trying to bunt, and Guerra walked him. That's a strike called, and down goes Straley. 1 away here in the 6th inning. Not only do you get the double play to end a threat, but you also get the pitcher leading off the next inning. That can always help you get started with an inning. That would be Craig Counsell's more memorable challenges of the year right there, that double play.
Had nothing to lose. I mean, that was a turning point in the game right there. I mean, you get that, you know, you leave it as a force out, a run is in, and yeah, you don't know how the rest of the inning is going to go. You have the pitcher coming up, but you take a run off the board, and you mentioned you get an easy out to start the inning. Carlos Torres, you put 3 more inherited runners not scoring on his card. He's done a good job in that department. Now 4 of 15 inherited runners.
Torres came in with runners at second and third and nobody out, and none of them scored.
Yeah, make that 4 of 14.
Marlins leadoff hitter at the plate, JT Realmuto, who doubled and scored in the third. He's 1 for 3. Has more hits than any other catcher in the big leagues. He's catching more than just about any other catcher in the big leagues as well. Two balls and a strike. Stanton to follow. Base hit. 2 more hits for Realmuto.
That fastball up and away, goes right back into center field. Talk about hitting with confidence. This guy. 2 hits, 2 punch outs. It's a good day.
It is. Scored a run. Hitting leadoff, which he's done occasionally this year. And one of the more dangerous number 2 hitters in the big leagues, Giancarlo Stanton. How about the number 2 hitters we have in this game today? Stanton and Eric Thames, who have combined for 42 home runs this season. 21 apiece. For so many years in baseball, that number 2 hitter was stereotyped into a guy who could go to the opposite field,
take pitches,
get deep in a count. It preferably would be a left-handed hitter if your leadoff hitter was a speed guy, but you can throw all of that out the window now. It really doesn't apply anymore in Major League Baseball with the analytics world that we are in, and certain positions in a batting order that you like to have a certain kind of player.
You know, most guys are like that now. I mean, how many guys are first pitch fastball guys? I mean, we talk about Arcia, you know, being like that. I mean, most guys work the count. They hit with 2 strikes. They can go to right field very well. Everybody strikes out. Even leadoff hitters these days. It's not that big a deal anymore to strike out.
And you're not going to see a lot of stolen base attempts with a guy like Stanton hitting second, although D. Gordon, who is their typical leadoff hitter, does steal a lot of bases. He has 29 this season. But that's always risky when you get thrown out with a big power hitter like Stanton. I think the idea in every batting order, the 2 spot in the order is typically the sweet spot for any hitter who might be struggling, or if you want to see fastballs, you're hitting ahead of the number 3 hitter, which is typically your best hitter, and then you're up there with a base runner on occasion at first base, so that gets you a lot more fastballs than you might normally see.
Yeah, and a base stealer.
Now the next question is, here's a player who signed a $300 million contract, and a lot of managers like to use the 2 spot as a little bit of a protection spot, you know, not the pressure spot in the batting order. It's not always the case. That's a hot line drive into left field, and Stanton will reach. Back-to-back singles off Torres, and the Marlins just keep the pressure on the Brewer pitching staff. Every inning the Marlins have had a runner on base, and in every inning but one they've had multiple runners on.
Well, they left 7 on the bases so far, but the Brewers, as much of a problem this offense has been for the Brewer pitching staff, Brewers only down by 1.
2 double plays. The last 2 innings have ended innings in double play balls. Here's Yelich. Yelich has been on all 3 times. 2 singles and a walk. He scored twice. First and second, 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Yelich. Torres has very good command right now, not just to the fastball, but the cutter as well. He has buried that thing down and into these left-handed hitters.
Yep, down and into lefties, down and away to right-handers, and has been very consistent with it.
So Oliver Drake and Rob Scahill, double barrel action in the bullpen. You figure Drake's preparing for a matchup with Justin Bour. Inside. 2-2 now. Another big spot. Marlins scored 3 in the 3rd inning on a 3-run homer by Ozuna. Got 1 last inning on a double by Bour. First and second, 1 out. Here's a 2-2. Yelich had a good cut, fouls it straight back. Don't forget, tomorrow is a day game as we extend this 4th of July weekend. Get a great Monday out of it. 1 o'clock first pitch, on the air at 12:30 tomorrow, and then 4th of July here at Miller Park against the Orioles. Game will start just after 3. 2:30 airtime for that one. A lot of day baseball here. Going to be 4 in a row, as a matter of fact. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
and Thursday.
Yeah, then that game at Wrigley, right? Day game, the makeup game,
and then Saturday and Sunday in New York.
You bring your sunscreen. Full count to Yelich. Cubs are out in front of the Reds 6-2. That game's in the 9th inning. Brewers lead the Cubs by 3 in the Central. Cardinals are playing tonight at home against Washington. The Sunday night game. 3-2 pitch. Yelich on the ground. Oh, it's by Thames. Santana's up with it. They're going to send the runner. The throw to the plate. And it's a run in. That had a chance to start a potential double play. Instead, it's a base hit by Yelich, and the Marlins score. It's 5-3 on an RBI.
Yeah, the cutter really didn't do much that time. This one right under the glove of Thames. Actually dove a little bit too far for it. Went into right field. Good throw by Santana, but not in time. Probably wouldn't have been able to get a double play on that, but if Thames knocks it down, he might get it out somewhere. Yelich hit that one hard.
Yelich on base for a 4th time, 3 hits and a walk, and that's going to send counsel to the home plate umpire for a double switch. So another pitching change. The Marlins keeping the pressure on. They've added to their lead now 5-3. We'll set up the new pitcher when we continue. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Well, the Marlins have added to their lead. It is now 5-3. Carlos Torres is out, giving up 3 consecutive hits in the 6th inning, and a double switch is coming. Eric Thames has been removed from the game, made the last out last inning. Jesus Aguilar will take over at first, and he will hit in the 7th position in the batting order. And Rocket will be Rob Scahill on to pitch for the Brewers.
Yeah, second time he's been with the Brewers. He got called up on Friday from AAA. He had a pretty good time of it down in AAA. 13 games, a .73 earned run average. Yeah, 13th, 14th game for the Brewers this year. Earned run average of about 3.5.
Torres goes an inning and a third. At this point, giving up 1 run on 3 hits. Scahill will enter with runners at first and third, and he'll have to face the dangerous Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna with 2 hits and a 3-run homer in this game. The big 3 for the Marlins: Stanton, Ozuna, and Bour. So far in this series, Stanton's been quiet. Ozuna has 4 hits, including the 3-run home run today. And Bour, with an RBI double today, has driven in 3 on 4 hits.
Hey, keep those guys quiet. You have a chance to win. I mean, you know, you almost feel bad not including Christian Yelich into that whole mix. He's not one of the big 3, but he's certainly been productive and a very good hitter. And that's another guy you got to keep an eye on.
Yelich with 3 hits today and a walk. He's at first. Scahill ready to go. Ozuna 2 for 3 today. Has another multi-hit game. Only Charlie Blackmon of the Rockies has more multi-hit games than Marcell Ozuna. Blackmon has 34. This is number 31 of the season today. Might see Yelich try to steal a base. Very fast runner. He's 7 for 7 in stolen base attempts this year. Scahill is a ground ball pitcher, and that's what Council's hoping for right here. There goes Yelich. And Pena's thrown to second base. A short hop picked by VR. And Yelich is 8 for 8, and now second and third with 1 out.
And because Scahill is a ground ball pitcher, that's probably why he's running, to stay out of that double play. Got a good jump, big lead, good jump. He looks in to see where the baseball is, and in there safely.
Well, now do you walk Ozuna to load the bases to give yourself a chance to get out of it? They're not going to go with the intentional walk. They might pitch around him, though. We'll see how they play it. Infield creeping in. Second and third, 1 out. And that one's in there for a strike.
Man, that was a spinner up there. This is where you get Ozuna chasing with 2 strikes. You got a couple of pitches to work with here. Let's see if we'll chase a slider off the plate. He's done that in this series a number of times.
That means Manny Pena's got to be on his game defensively behind the plate. Got to block everything. 1-2 pitch. Oh, and a swing and a miss. That one hung up there a little bit, but Ozuna missed it, and a strikeout for Scahill for the 2nd out of the inning. That's a big one.
Yeah, you just got to stay away from the middle of the plate with a fastball with this guy. Looking to pull. That's a good slider. Took a little off. It was up a little bit.
And now they will walk Justin Bour intentionally. Part of the speed up rules. You don't need to throw 4 pitches to walk a batter any longer. Now the bases are loaded for Martin Prado. Marlins have a run in. They lead 5-3. Brewers are right in this game, but they are on thin ice. Feels like they're on thin ice every inning. 5 runs on 11 hits for the Marlins.
On the Marlins so far, 3 for 11 runners in scoring position. Could be a lot worse for the Brewers. They've left a lot of men out there.
One ball, one strike on Prado. Scahill has good velocity today. That hit 94. Trying to pound Martin Prado in. One ball, one strike. Bases are loaded. Prado takes a ball away. Buckled his knees with that breaking ball. Prado is among the first of the wave of star caliber utility players. When he was with the Atlanta Braves, played infield, outfield, and made an all-star team in 2010. He and Ben Zobrist. 2-1. Now 3-1.
You see Prado just licking his chops here on this pitch. 3-1, bases loaded, nowhere to put him. He's looking for something to drive.
He doesn't walk much. He doesn't strike out much. Prado. Matter of fact, he's only walked 4 times all year.
Kind of sounds like the whole team.
Yeah, it's a good point.
They don't walk much, don't strike out much.
Their walks leader is Stanton with 35. Stands over at third. Yelich at second. Bohr at first. Could be another game-changing moment right here. Full count, 2 outs. Runners will start. Scahill deals, and on the ground it goes right to Arcia. He'll take the out at first, and the inning is over. And Scahill does a nice job getting out of it. Inherited runner stranded. Marlins do get a run, and their lead is 2. Ryan Braun set to lead off. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-3 Marlins. Lead the Brewers on this Independence Day weekend. And a reminder that this summer some of the biggest names in basketball hit the court for a 10-city 3-on-3 battle. Ice Cube presents the Big 3 basketball, and tomorrow they are in Charlotte, 7 p.m. Central, only on FS1. Ryan Braun will lead off for the Brewers as we go to the 6th inning. Brewer half of the 6th inning. Braun has doubled today. That set up a sac fly by Santana in the first inning. 5-3. Marlins have the lead. They have scored single runs in each of the last 2 innings. Straley's back on the mound, and Braun facing him for the 3rd time. Ryan just coming back from injury in Cincinnati. Played all 3 games in that series. And now his 2nd start in this series against the Marlins. It's 5th start since coming back from the disabled list. This is his 35th game of the season. Popped him up. Long run in for Dietrich, and now Bohr will make the play. Out number 1.
Hey, it's time for today's Time of the Game winner, the Tap Room in South Milwaukee. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. South Milwaukee. Do you know who's from South Milwaukee?
Mike Faulkner.
His wife, Ruth. I thought you knew everything about Mike.
You said you know he's from South Milwaukee, and you pointed at Mike.
I pointed at the note right by Mike.
Oh. Santana into right field. Long run for Stanton. He can't get it. Fields it on a hop, and Domingo Santana with a base hit. He's having a nice day. Santana with his 2nd hit. Has a sacrifice fly. And a man on with 1 out brings a tying run to the plate.
Hey, good job by Santana. He's covering all parts of the plate pretty well today. 2nd time he's gone to right field. Slider away, dumps it down the line. Another base runner for the Brewers.
That'll bring up Hernan Perez.
Mike's from West Bend, isn't he?
Mike wrote you a note that his wife's from South Milwaukee.
Well, he does a little bit of work on the Tavern of the Game, you know.
That's a little grounder by Perez. A little swinging bunt. That'll be out number 2.
You know, Mike Faulkner is like famous in West Bend. I would have thought you would have known that.
Well, I knew he was from West Bend, but I didn't know about South Milwaukee. I didn't
know Ruth.
I didn't understand all that.
It's okay.
I felt like that was a setup. There he is. Say hi, Mike.
West Bend he's from. His wife, Ruth, is from South Milwaukee.
See that smile he has right now? He can't smile like that for a photograph. It's impossible. Every photograph he's ever taken, including the one when he was 12 years old with Hank Aaron, he has no smile on his face.
All serious?
Manny Pena with a swing and a miss. I feel like somewhere down the genealogy of Mike Faulkner, you know, back in the old days when they used to take the photographs and nobody smiled.
Right.
I think that got passed down.
That's his era, though.
Well, the way the season has gone, this is a perfect moment for Manny Pena. He has had some dramatic hits and home runs this year. And he is up there representing the tying run. And a wave and a miss. That Straley breaking ball has been tough on him, though.
It's been a good pitch. He's made some mistakes with it. Made a mistake with it to Orlando Arcia. Hit it out of the ballpark. Looking for a mistake here.
Runner at 2nd. Santana is there with 2 outs. And down he goes. Pena strikes out. Crashes that bat on the ground, and Straley's breaking ball is a good one. And he gets Manny Pena to end the inning.
In baseball, series between Red Sox and the Blue Jays, Mookie Betts collected 8 RBIs today from the leadoff spot. Not too bad, and he did the bulk of that damage in both the 4th and the 6th innings. A 3-run shot for him in the 4th, followed it up with a 2-run blast in the 6th, and he had singled in the 2nd, added a 2 RBI single in the 7th, so not too bad for him. 4 for 6 on the day, 8 RBIs. Just the 4th player in Red Sox history to have at least 6 RBIs in a game, batting from the leadoff spot since 1970. And it's been a big day for the Red Sox overall. They now have 15 runs on the day on 21 hits.
What a performance by the Red Sox. That includes an 8-run 7th inning. Betts, one of the great leadoff hitters in the game, and one of the bright young stars in the game. Thank you, Sophia, for that. We're on our way to the 7th inning now in Milwaukee, Miller Park. Rob Scahill is back on the mound. Got out of a tough jam in the 6th inning. Got 2 outs, worked around an intentional walk. And Derek Dietrich leading off. That ball is going to roll foul. 5-3, Marlins lead it. Marlins have to be kicking themselves, though, at this point. They feel like they could be up plenty. They've stranded 10, including leaving the bases loaded last inning.
Yep, 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Of course, you know, one of those 3 hits, that 3-run home run by Ozuna.
Big swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Rob Scahill, been a wild ride for him this year. Thought he had made the club out of spring training. He pitched very well in spring training, but was sent to AAA. At one point taken off the roster. He's been up and down. Now getting another chance.
Well, he got taken off the roster in the offseason to make room for Aguilar on the 40-man. You know, came up, was designated for assignment in the middle of the season, stuck with the Brewers, and well, he's back doing the right thing, saying the right thing, and pitching well. He's back in the big leagues.
He was dominant at AAA. It's a fly ball into right, hit well, and that ball is going to be gone. A home run. Derek Dietrich with a solo shot, and now it's a 3-run game. These Marlins are a handful at the plate today. They have just been trouble every inning for every Brewer pitcher.
And watch where this pitch ends up. That's not where you want to leave it. Now, in on a left-handed hitter. Could have been up a little bit more, but Dietrich doing a good job keeping it fair. Pulls the hands in and knocks it out of here on a line.
It's only his 4th home run of the season. He's been on base 3 times. And now JT Riddle. .6-3 Marlins on 12 hits. 2 home runs. Ozuna and Dietrich now have homered. Riddle has singled today. He's bounced into a huge double play in the 5th inning. If the Brewers come back and win this game, that'll be the key moment in the game. That's a shot to center field, a base hit.
Every inning, men on base. Brewers have not had a 3-up, 3-down inning. That was a 2-0 pitch. Fastball. Riddle hammers it into center.
Here comes Ichiro. Could be his final at bat at Miller Park. You never know how long his career is going to go, but he got a standing ovation on Friday. He's been among the best pinch hitters in the National League this season. He has 12 hits as a pinch hitter. And Dan Straley is out. Ichiro hitting in the pitcher spot. great Ichiro. Surefire Hall of Fame member.
No doubt. Amazing career.
One of the greatest Japanese players. Even before he left Japan to come to the States. Played 9 years in Japan before coming to Major League Baseball. He is the active hit leader in Major League Baseball.
Over 4,300 hits between the Japanese leagues and the big leagues. It's a lot of base hits.
No doubt. Gold gloves. Ichiro on an 0-2 count. Able to fight that one off. 43 years of age is Ichiro. He has gone on the record to say he wants to play until he's 50.
50.
He even admits whether he gets an opportunity to do that is another question. I would almost guarantee he'd get an opportunity in Japan to play until he's 50. Not sure about here in the major leagues. But again, he's been a great pinch hitter.
Check out Bernie's seat back there behind home plate.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, hanging out. Pulled a yawn move. Very nice, Bernie. In the dirt, blocked by Pena. That's good eye. That's a good eye rock.
How can you miss him? I mean, you didn't see him?
Which one's Bernie? Oh, I see him. There he is. You go, Bernie.
I mean, it's hard to miss him, isn't it?
He looks innocent and all with that smile, but one and two the count. And a little jam shot. Ichiro hanging in there.
Those folks in the second row behind him can't see a thing.
Bernie does have a big head. Checking the scorebook. Runner goes. Ichiro puts it in play. And a little foul ball. How did Bernie get from the chalet to the front row so fast?
Oh, no.
Look at him. She looks uncomfortable with Bernie sitting next to her. One and two the count. Now I can't stop looking at Bernie. He's just right there.
I know.
I mean, once you find Waldo, it's hard to.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to not look at him.
That's why I couldn't believe you couldn't see him for a little while.
I was locked in. Pitch is high. What a contrast from the absolute distinguished, glorious career of Ichiro to Bernie putting the moves on in the front row with Amy down there. So that's from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah, it is.
Runner goes. Ichiro fouls it off. 9-pitch at bat thus far. Cahill in a long battle with Ichiro at the top of the order. Coming up next, Riddle at first, stays put. Ichiro fouls another one off.
And just trying to put the bat on the baseball. So that's some pretty good pitches to hit in this at bat. There's been a lot of pitches that are well within that strike zone that Ichiro just keeps fouling off.
Two the count. On the ground, chance to turn it here. VR, Arcia, and no throw from Arcia. Ichiro finally retired. He'll reach on a fielder's choice.
And had another really good pitch to hit. Right down the middle.
Paolo Espino starting to get loose now. Remember, he was a potential option for tomorrow to start the game for the Brewers tomorrow. Brewers are finally coming to a reckoning on Chase Anderson, who had to go on the disabled list. And Derek Johnson is out. So we do not know who will pitch tomorrow at this moment. You got to stay tuned to Brewers Live for that. To be announced, Wade Miley will start for the Baltimore Orioles. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Don't forget, we're on the air at 12:30 tomorrow. First pitch 1:10. Orioles starting pitching has been a struggle this season.
Interesting discussion, or an interesting visit by Derek Johnson. Not sure what the discussion was.
One out, runner at first. JT Realmuto at the plate now. On the ground, here's Arcia. Gets it to VR and he throws it away. And it's off to the races now, backing up Santana. That is going to save a run. Well, it would look like a sure out at second, maybe even a double play.
Man, it should have been a double play.
Now it ends up with second and third and just one out on an E6.
Yeah, fielder's choice E6. Now we've seen Arcia make this throw a lot, and that one just a little bit off the mark, and actually a lot off the mark, not even close. VR not able to get a glove on it, and now second and third and one out. And trouble brewing again.
Yeah, again is right. Giancarlo Stanton will bat. Infield in. That's got to be a scary proposition for an infielder to have to play in with Stanton at the plate, who hits the ball about as hard as anybody in the game.
And still not as close as that pitcher is, though.
There's a shot. Arcia gloves it. Coming to the plate, and an easy out at home. Wow. I mean, you talk about hand-eye coordination. The quick reaction of Orlando Arcia. Yikes.
Man, once again, I mean, you're talking about how close he is to, a home plate, a bullet. You're talking about quick reactions and a good throw into home plate. Kind of a tricky hop for him. Ichiro easy out at home, running on contact.
Wow.
That's just a big league play. Good hands by Orlando Arcia.
Man, what a play. I mean, that was no easy hop, and it's one thing to, kind of keep it in front, maybe knock it down. He gets it right in the webbing of the glove.
Incredible skills.
He's got boxer's hands, right? Like quick reactions. So 2 outs. First and second now. Here's Christian Yelich, who has not been retired today. 3 hits and a walk. Marlins probably feel like they could be up by 6 or 8 runs right now.
Yeah.
It's only 6-3. The Brewers are still in it. Got to retire Yelich, though, and give yourself a chance. Marlins have left 10. 2 more are out there right now with Yelich at the plate. Yelich is emerging as one of the game's bright young stars as well. Was on the United States team for the WBC. He and Stanton. Signed a big contract. Ground ball to Arcia. He'll go to second the easy way, and the Brewers get out of it. Another inning could have been a whole lot worse. Marlins do get a home run from Dietrich, and they now lead 6-3. It's time for God Bless America, Miller Park's presentation. Enjoy it, folks. Sunday, Independence Day weekend.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
The Brewers trail 6-3 here in the 7th, and BCF appreciates partnering with the fans to make a difference in our community. Focusing on health, education, recreation, and basic needs assures the improvement of quality of life in our community. So thank you to all for supporting the efforts to positively impact the lives of children and their families in the greater Milwaukee area. An update for you also on Willie Peralta. He is on the disabled list with a right calf strain. He left this morning for a minor league rehab assignment. He'll join AAA Colorado Springs. He is going to throw one more bullpen, and then he is scheduled to pitch in Wednesday's game. Craig Counsell saying the plan is for him to pitch at least 2 inning stints. He'll likely go at least 2 times, and then they'll evaluate Peralta at the All-Star break to see if he's ready to rejoin the big league team.
Yeah, and if he's not, then that's a decision that's got to be made, because he is out of options. So you have to make him available for the other teams or bring him back to the big leagues. That'll be a big decision for a former opening day starter, Willie Peralta.
Man, Kyle Bearclaw comes in here in the 7th. Good numbers for Bearclaw. Strikeout pitcher. We saw him on Friday. Pitched a scoreless inning. Struck out a couple of batters. Back into this Marlins bullpen. Very good in a winning scenario.
Bearclaw, Phelps, and Ramos is their combination to get to the finish line. Jesus Aguilar leads off. Big swing by Jesus, his first at bat of the game. Counsell has used 2 double switches to try to navigate through the middle innings. Junior Guerra, the starter, could not get through the 5th. Good work by Rob Scahill to pitch around an error. So Torres goes an inning and a third, and then Scahill an inning and 2/3. And the Brewers are down 3. Could be a whole lot worse for Milwaukee at this point. He goes, and Aguilar strikes out for the first out of the inning. Orlando Arcia homered his last time up in the 5th inning. And talk about those hits by direction and how much more he is pulling the ball than he was at the start of the year. This is a great indication of that. So the first 6 weeks of the season.
Not the same period of time, and one thing that pops out at me, how many more hits he's had, you know, as of late, last 6 weeks of the season. I mean, he is really aggressive at the plate, still going to right field. He hasn't forgot about that, but when he gets a pitch in on him, middle in, he is turning on it now. Coming of age as a hitter in the major leagues.
And he lines a shot back up the middle, a base hit. You can't even say he's hot anymore because of the sustained success he's having. He's just a good hitter.
Yeah. Very aggressive. He likes to attack early in the count. That's the second pitch to him. A 1-0 fastball out over the plate, rips it into center field.
He's hitting over .350 in his last 41 games. 2 more hits today, a home run, now a single. And what we are watching here is a 22-year-old who is emerging into an all-star player.
Yeah, it's almost as if, you know, the first 6 weeks he's kind of just feeling out, you know, pitching and trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's tweaked, you know, his stance a little bit, his approach. Not sure what's the matter with the bat, but something going on with the bat.
Hunter Wendelstedt, the home plate umpire, asked VR to change his bat.
Maybe a pine tar issue.
Which always brings up the memory of George Brett in New York. Was Mattingly on the Yankees team at that time? I can't remember. Might have been right. It might have been before his time.
Yeah, I think it was. That was the old Chris Chambliss days.
Yeah, that's right. Well, at least they pointed it out early, and that might not have been it at all. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can't take away hits if there's too much pine tar. Umpire has to recognize it before they, you know, start an at bat.
Much cleaner bat here for VR.
But still likes the pine tar, doesn't he?
A lot of players will use the glue stick. Some still use the pine tar, some combination of pine tar and rosin. And a lot more these days, players are using the wrap around the bat, which you never used to see other than a tape wrap. These are the grip wraps, which were customary in college game or the amateur game with aluminum bats.
I would have loved to use that back in the day. That wrap that they have, that sticky wrap. I used to like to tape my bat.
3-0 to VR. That is ball 4, and the Brewers are going to bring the tying run to the plate. Arcia singles, VR walks, and we are at the top of the batting order with the Brewers down 3 and head scratching time for Don Mattingly.
Well, you're not going to see any activity in that bullpen, not yet anyway, not with this guy. This is one of his main relievers.
Eric Sogard 0 for 3 today. Big spot here. Remember, the pitcher spot is due up next. Counsell is implemented 2 double switches, so the pitcher spot has ended up in the 2 spot in the batting order, and Stephen Vogt has already moved on deck. Also have Travis Shaw available. 2 on, 1 out. Inside move, and Arcia back. Now, do the Brewers have a little more magic in them in this series? In the air, right field. Sogard sends it deep, and Stanton will run it down. What a catch by Stanton. Just missed it on the barrel. Arcia will tag and go to third base. He missed it on the bat by an inch or so, it looked like and sounded like, and Sogard with a long, loud out for the second out.
Off-speed pitch, got it down on the end. And you see that slider, and Sogard pulls it. I thought maybe it had a chance, just didn't have that sound. And good speed by Stanton, able to haul it in fair territory.
Well, that'll set the stage for Stephen Vogt now. Vogt with 2 home runs on Friday. His 2-run homer in the 7th inning gave the Brewers the lead. A long ball here would tie it. Kyle Bearclaw pitching with runners at the corners. This is outside. There are some fans here at Miller Park that have brought the Oakland chant for Stephen Vogt to Milwaukee. It's one of my favorites. It's a song, it's a sing song, and it goes, "I believe in Stephen Vogt." And you might hear that. I believe in Stephen Vogt. I believe in Stephen Vogt. That's my favorite chant ever. Wouldn't that be great to have somebody chanting that to you each and every day?
Right.
Had a down year offensively before the Brewers claimed him off waivers. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Brewers have him at the corners, and that one is in the air, foul. Let's take it back to Friday. Stephen Vogt off Edinson Volquez early in the game launched his first Miller Park home run to right center field, and then off Phelps, a blast off the batter's eye to give the Brewers a 3-2 lead, and that's how they would finish the game.
He likes it here at Miller Park.
Curtain call, first of his career.
Yeah.
VR's got a big lead at first. Looks like he wants to run. There he goes. And Vogt fouls it away.
Had a home run taken away from him in Cincinnati.
Scott Schebler made that catch up over the wall. Arcia singled with 1 away, and then VR drew a walk. Tying run at the plate. Vogt in a 2-2 count. And a little half swing. He goes, and a strikeout to end the inning. Bearclaw comes through. Scoreless 7th inning for the Brewers, and it's now 6-3.
Marlins. Time now for our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. For Houston, their first baseman Marwin Gonzalez went 1 for 2, his 14th home run of the season. They have an 8-0 lead over the Yankees, and Jose Ramirez, third baseman for the Indians, had a pair of home runs today. They have an 11-8 lead in the bottom of the 9th.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Keeping us updated on what's going on around Major League Baseball. The juggernaut Astros, with that big lead over the Yankees, that was billed as a showdown series, and the Astros are performing very well against the Yankees. New pitcher is Paolo Espino, and we were thinking he might be a candidate to start the game tomorrow.
Scratch him off the list.
Yeah, Espino is on here in the 8th.
Yeah, threw 3 innings on Wednesday against the Reds. Yeah, 3 innings, 3 runs, gave him a couple of homers. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe get a couple of innings. And we'll see if the Brewers are able to get something going.
Now Brent Suter, the other potential candidate, milling around in the bullpen. I think that's one of the main reasons Craig Counsell didn't want to commit to a starter for tomorrow, to fill in for Chase Anderson, because you don't know how today's going to go. Brewers do have some options in the minor leagues as well they could call up.
It's got to be the case at this point. I mean, if you got Suter walking around thinking about he might be throwing.
Brewers are looking for a sweep in this series. They are down 6-3. Had a chance with the tying run last inning, but a big strikeout, and now
it's a pine tar issue.
It is a pine tar situation, and
same thing.
Hunter Wendelstedt said, go get him another bat.
When's the last time you saw this? I've never seen this.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could hear that from Hunter Wendelstedt, but as the Marlins are talking in the dugout, he said, you guys started it with Jonathan Villar, so what do you want me to do?
Well,
by the way, Mattingly was on that Yankees team in the George Brett pine tar game.
He's got a different bat, somebody else's bat, I guess. So apparently, you know, the Marlins complained about Villar's bat.
Yeah. So what's the lesson in that, kids?
Zip it.
Ozuna fouls it back.
I mean, really, I mean, it's you're hurting your own team as well, right? Ozuna's saying, great, now I have to use a pitcher's bat.
I wonder whose bat he's using. Villar had another bat ready that didn't have as much pine tar on it. Also wouldn't hurt if the players didn't have so much pine tar on the bat, if they were
don't need it up that high,
operating in regulation form.
So apparently, you know, the Marlins complained about the bat. That was even before Villar got to the plate.
Ozuna sends one deep to left, and he's going to enjoy this march around the bases with a brand new bat. His second home run.
This doesn't matter what he's using.
22 for the year now, his 3rd hit of the game, and Ozuna makes it 7-3 Miami.
See if he thanks the home plate umpire. Thanks, Hunter. That was a good bat.
Fourth career multi-homer game for Marcell Ozuna. He's had 3 of those this year. Boy, what a player. Using somebody else's bat. Launched one out. Maybe let him use the one with all the pine tar on it next time.
Well, the bat, I mean, according to the rule book, you know, the bat handle for not more than 18 inches from its end. So I guess, you know, they use the plate because the plate's 17 inches across. So you kind of look and see if it's more than an inch, and you put it out of play, and that's what Hunter Wendelstedt did.
I haven't seen that. Yeah, he's got his 2 bats, the ones that were sent out. Derek Dietrich. Didn't matter. That's the thing. Most don't call you on it. You just hardly ever see the pine tar being.
Well, the Marlins complained, I guess,
Right,
and then
with
they
VR.
had, well, then they had to measure it, and now the Brewers did the same with Ozuna.
Martin Prado. This Marlins team can really hit. There's nothing wrong with their offense. You know, they're probably a couple of starting pitchers away from being a serious contender. They've got a good bullpen. Good offense.
Great defense.
Hard to figure that they are under 500 right now.
We were saying the same thing about the Reds, though.
Yeah, exactly. That,
you know,
all the adjectives about Cincinnati apply to the Marlins. Dan Straley's been Mattingly's best starter. He started today's game. 6 innings, 3 runs. And Prado draws a walk. Derek Dietrich, who homered his last time up, giving the Marlins a 6-3 lead at the time. Now it's 7-3. How do you even get pine tar off a bat that high? Is it even possible, or do you just get a new bat?
Scrape some off, you know, put some alcohol on it, rub it down, and I'm not sure why you needed it that high to start with, but they got called on it.
VR got a new bat, and he walked. Ozuna got a new bat and hit a home run. Ozuna with 2 homers and 4 runs batted in today. A 3-hit game. It's Dietrich with a swing and a miss. And he's drilled again. Second time he's been hit today. He is second in the National League in hit by pitches. Stands right on top of the plate.
Josh Harrison first.
Yep. Josh Harrison leads, and then Dietrich, and then Rizzo are 1, 2, 3 in that category. Unlike Dietrich and Rizzo, Harrison does not stand on top of the plate. He just dives out over the plate when he swings.
Seems like every time Harrison gets hit, he smiles. Kind of laughs. Takes his base and then steals a couple.
So 2 men are on again for the Marlins, and it's JT Riddle. There has been a mountain of base runners in this game. Only once has been there fewer than multiple base runners in an inning. That was in the second. Seven runs on 14 Marlins hits. Cubs have won their game today with Cincinnati. Salvaged the final game of that series behind Jake Arrieta. Arrieta now 8-6 with the win, a 4.33 ERA for Arrieta. 6-2 was the final today. Ethan Happ had a big day for the Chicago Cubs. He drove in 4 on 3 hits. So if the Brewers do not come back, they will drop to 2 games up in the division. Open play today, 3 up on the Cubs, 3.5 on the Cardinals. Cardinals have the Nationals tonight. Great matchup in St. Louis. Max Scherzer and Carlos Martinez. Prime time pitching matchup there. Espino walks Riddle. And Derek Johnson's on his way out again. Tough day on the mound for the Brewers today. There have been so many base runners. 25 different base runners have reached base for the Marlins today.
Yeah, 7 runs in. You know, bases are loaded, and they've already left 12 stranded on the bases in the first 7 innings.
And the bases are loaded with 1 out, with a pinch hitter coming up. Tyler Moore is going to bat for Miami. Marlins have loaded him up again. 3rd time today they have loaded the bases. Big swing by Moore. The Brewers' next opponent, the Orioles, coming in here for a day game tomorrow. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-1. Manny Machado drove in 3 runs for Baltimore today. That's a guy you want to come see, Manny Machado. He's one of the great young players in the game.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the Orioles. It's been a while, hasn't it? J.J. Hardy.
They've got a good team too. They've got a good lineup. Starting pitching has been their problem this year. Baltimore is in 4th in their division. They're 6.5 back of the Red Sox. Red Sox won going away today. Red Sox, Yankees, Rays are the 3 teams, actually, and Baltimore are the 4 teams over 500 in that division, as opposed to the National League Central, which has only 1 team over 500. The Brew Crew. That's what the East looks like. So Baltimore, I beg your pardon, just a 40-41 today. 3 teams over 500. And a 3-game series with the Orioles beginning tomorrow. Manny Machado, a 3-run home run today. Hitting 2nd in the order as well. All the best hitters hit 2nd run.
How about that? Usually your best all-around hitter is your number 3 hitter. A big power hitter, number 4. And not the case these days.
One and 2 the count. Another foul ball. Mark Trumbo's had a big year for Baltimore this year. He's got 11 homers. Driven in 39. Had a huge year last year for the Orioles. Nice pickup for them. Chris Davis is with them. J.J. Hardy. Finally, Espino retires Tyler Moore. He strikes him out for the second out of the inning. That was a long battle.
That 7-pitch at bat. Got him on a changeup down, and Moore swings over the top of it.
Espino out there grinding here. A run is in. 29 pitches in the inning. And the 7th batter to hit this inning, JT Realmuto. There's a strike. We're going to have a game on the 4th of July against the Baltimore Orioles. You know what's important about that, right?
No. Oh, 4th of July. I know what that is.
4th of July.
Connection between that and the Orioles.
The Star-Spangled Banner was written in Baltimore. Francis Scott Key. See there? Aren't you glad you stayed around for that?
I am.
Couldn't have a better team to face on the 4th of July than the Baltimore Orioles. If only we were in Baltimore, we could go out into the water and reimagine all of that. You ever do a book report on Francis Scott Key and the Star-Spangled Banner?
No. Did you?
It's good history. I did a few. Just kind of rolled them over every year.
Resubmitted them. Same handwriting.
Yeah, that's right. Counter Baines a 2-2.
Been a while since we have been to Camden Yards.
I did a playoff series there a few years back, 2014, I think it was. Man, what a great atmosphere at Camden Yards. They swept the Tigers that year. Line drive into center. That's a base hit. And this is going to bring in 2 runs. And the route is on for the Marlins. 3 runs in the inning. JT Realmuto with his 3rd hit of the game drives in a pair.
What a bad pitch either. It was down. I think he picks this one right off the ground. Goes down and gets it, levels it up, and line drive into center field with 2 outs. Runners going on contact. He scores easily from second base. Not a bad pitch. Fastball with a plate, but down below the knees.
Here's Stanton now with 2 outs. And a monumental struggle for Espino today. Marlins have 9 runs on 15 hits. Oh, and 2 the count on Stanton. Stanton's been relatively quiet in this series. Does have a single today, has a walk as well. Last year's home run derby champ, and the home run derby will be in Miami this year. Monday before the All-Star game, he'll be the featured attraction once again.
to be some baseballs bouncing off that artwork out there, that statue out in left center. Marlins Park. When did the Brewers go to Miami? Check that out.
Toward the end of the year.
In September.
You got a little time here to look that up.
September. Over the weekend.
September 15, 16, and 17. Stanton strikes out. And a long, arduous inning is over. But the Marlins add 3 more to their lead. It's now 9-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Not so much for the 4th of July, but the All-Star selections that are going to be coming out in just a bit, 6 p.m. Central Time, as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning here. Brewers trailing by 6 runs. We're getting set for a Brewers Live postgame presented by Ascension. That's one of the things that we're going to talk about. Is Corey Knebel going to be the pick, and also this bullpen now today roughed up a bit, so that may have something to do with tomorrow's plans as to who's starting.
Well, that's right, because now that Espino got in the ballgame, threw a lot of pitches in this last inning. Never know who's gonna. It really does, as you say, it changes things. And now we'll see who's going to start tomorrow.
Greg Consa will let us know coming up after the ball game, and we'll talk about a rough outing for all of his pitchers here in this game today, and look ahead to the Orioles coming in. Interleague play begins tomorrow afternoon here in Milwaukee. A lot of day baseball over this long 4th of July holiday weekend, BA.
Yes, sir, it is. Thank you, Craig and Davey. And here we go to the bottom of the 8th with Ryan Braun leading off. David Phelps will pitch for the Marlins. He's normally the Marlins setup man, assuming he was warming up, getting ready to pitch. And so he's out there regardless of the score. First ball swinging, Braun grounds out.
Yeah, Phelps was the guy that gave up that 2-run home run to Stephen Vogt on Friday. Yeah, that was on the 30th in the inning. A couple of runs, a couple of strikeouts. Well, yeah, the back end of this Marlins bullpen pretty good. That's got some good arms. A 6-run lead. You don't expect to see Ramos, but you never know.
Phelps with a fastball strike on Santana.
Which he might need some work. Ramos has not pitched since the 27th.
Ooh, good breaking ball from Phelps. 0-2 the count. Santana's had a good day. 2 hits, had a sac fly. Put the Brewers on the board in the first inning. Brewers had a chance with the tying run at the plate last inning. Stephen Vogt struck out to end the inning. And then the Marlins hung a 3-spot on Espino in the 8th. Now lead at 9-3. Powerball home run leaderboard has Thames with 21. He hit a long home run to right field in the 3rd inning today. Brewers bullpen today has thrown 110 pitches combined, just the bullpen. Torres, Cahill, and Espino. Starter Junior Guerra could not get through the 5th. Didn't get it out in the 5th, actually. Espino just threw 41 pitches in the top of the 8th inning. 2-2 on Santana. Got him. A strikeout for out number 2. That'll bring up Hernan Perez. Brewers will have a couple of interleague series coming up. It was supposed to be back-to-back interleague series, but then the Cubs decided to call a game due to rain, and it didn't rain. We call it around here the rainless rainout. And the Brewers are going to have to go make that game up Thursday in Chicago. That'll be a day game Thursday. Brewers actually moved up the start time for Wednesday's game against Baltimore to 6:10 instead of 7:10. So I know a lot of your schedules may say 7:10 start time, but it is in fact now a 6:10 start because of the travel down to Chicago and then a quick turnaround for a day game Thursday. So tell your friends. We don't want you showing up an hour late. I don't want you showing up an hour late either, Rock.
Oh, I got it. I'm all in.
You don't have to worry about that with Rock because he's always here 4 hours early anyway.
A lot going on at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Even before the game.
A lot to eat, a lot to greet.
Got to be there extra early tomorrow too, because we got to digest the Baltimore Orioles a little bit. We don't get to see them much.
A little extra work involved tomorrow.
Get a sense for what they do.
Perez with a base hit. His first hit of the game.
There's been one 3-up, 3-down inning all day. Brewers went 3-up, 3-down in the second. That's been it.
Well, Manny Pena now. By the way, you asked a question last inning and I didn't answer it right away. And after some R&D, I can answer that question at this point.
Camden Yards?
Nope. Last time the Orioles were here.
Oh, okay.
May of 2014.
That wasn't that long then.
I didn't blow you off. I actually did at first and then I forgot. Now I've remembered. I felt the Star Spangled Banner story was elevated on the priority list after that.
I appreciate it.
I don't know if that was the right decision though. I've not made very good decisions either as a play-by-play announcer today.
I don't think that 2014, last time they were here, has not been that long.
That's that'd be 3 years. A little over.
Now, did you go one step further last time the Brewers were in Baltimore? No? No?
Not yet.
I would imagine somebody down there can help out.
Not yet. That means somebody down there has to actually be listening. Down there meaning the production truck. Well organized today by Brent Reeland, producer, and director Renardo Lowe. June of 2003 is what they are saying from down there. Last time the Brewers went to Camden Yards. Is that right? Does that make sense?
Sounds like it.
That was before my time, so that didn't really count for me.
That's a long time.
If my memory serves me correctly, Ben Sheets made the start in 2003 in Baltimore.
That's pretty good.
I wasn't there, but I remember seeing a highlight that night about that game.
2003. I was working for the Golf Channel back there. There's a swing and a miss, and the inning is over. We go to the 9th, Rock, already. 9-3, Marlins have the lead.
The Marlins up 9-3, and we're going to want to be here at the ballpark 2 weeks from today because all fans in attendance for the series finale, Brewers and Phillies, will get a 1982 AL Champ replica ring courtesy of Chevrolet. It's modeled after the ones Harvey Wallbangers got for winning the pennant 35 years ago, and it is a dandy.
It is. It's amazing. I've never seen a giveaway item like this. It's heavy.
It is heavy, yeah. Legit.
This is way better than the ring I got with my minor league team that won the Texas League Championship. I wore that for about a week and my entire finger was green.
We won the Cal League Championship 1980.
Yeah.
Our ring was pewter.
I don't know what kind of material this is,
with
but
a little piece of blue glass on it. But you know what? It's not the ring. It's knowing that you won the championship.
It's the memory.
Yeah.
You don't wear it. It's a line drive to right. That's going to be down for a base hit. Christian Yelich on his way to second. And the Marlins center fielder has a 4-hit game today. On base 5 times. Give him a ring. Second 4-hit game of the season. Christian Yelich.
They have 4 hits, and he's been on base 5 times. 4 hits and a walk.
Here comes Ozuna with his home run bat with no pine tar on it.
Same one.
Why wouldn't it be? In case you weren't with us, or if you drifted off into a deep sleep, Ozuna had not 1 but 2 bats sent away because the pine tar was too high up toward the label. Then he got this bat with no pine tar on it, and he promptly hit a home run, his second homer of the game.
Yeah, bomb. It was way up there in left field, up around the spot where Bernie lands after his slide. One of the longest home runs we've seen here. Have they measured that one?
It's been measured. I'll get you a number.
That was way back.
0-2 the count. Oh, he used Giancarlo Stanton's bat. I was wondering whose bat he used.
Not many guys have their first name on their bats.
Right. Giancarlo.
Just one name, Giancarlo. A lot of guys will have both names. Most guys.
Pretty self-explanatory whose bat that belongs to. I bet Ichiro's got his first name on his bat.
Right.
Marlins might have set the record for most bats with their first names on it. 2. There's a called strike 3. Ozuna's out. Sophia, she's still working, our Emmy Award-winning reporter. She's got more on the Ozuna bats. What do you got, Sophia?
Well, I have to give credit to my fellow sideline reporter Jessica Blaylock for this note, but she said that with Ozuna now using Stanton's bat on the last home run, he has now homered this season, obviously using his own bats, but also Giancarlo Stanton's. He also used Ichiro's bat and a Barry Bonds bat, so he's getting quite a collection here.
That's a really interesting story. Remember, Barry Bonds was the hitting coach last year,
right,
with the Marlins. Might have left a few bats. How many bats can you homer with? Apparently he doesn't need the same bat. Just use whatever. Next level reporting. You never had a bat that just said Bill on it?
Nope. Did not.
This bat belongs to Bill. Who's Bill?
We used to use a lot of, down in the minor leagues, we would get a shipment of bats. They would not be from the bat companies, but, the Brewers would send bats down, and they, some of the big league, Brohard and Eddie Romero and guys like that. Never had a Robin Yount bat.
The discarded bats.
Yeah, guys that, didn't want them. They looked at them, they said, we don't want them. They don't get rid of them. They send them down to the minor leagues.
And then what's the pecking order once they arrive in the minor leagues? The guy who gets to the ballpark first?
I guess whoever needs them. I don't know. I don't remember.
Is there a difference between major league bats and minor league bats?
Oh, you think?
What's the difference? The quality of the wood?
Yeah, quality of the wood and harder bats. Whereas back in those days, the old Louisville Slugger, that was pretty much the only game in town. You have an Adirondack, I think, that they had back then. But I mean, there's so many bat companies now. But what we used to do is look at the grain. A wide grain, straight grain would be the hard bats. And those are the ones. When you got one of those, I mean, you pick that out of that bat box, and I'm going to use that.
Prado with a base hit. It's going to bring in another run. That'll make it 10-3 Marlins. And an RBI double for Martin Prado, his second hit of the game. So the wider the grain, these are on ash bats you're talking, right? Like ash
they didn't
bats.
have all this stuff that they have now.
Maple and
no. It was all the ash wood from the Louisville Sluggers.
So then the ash has the grain on it. The wider the grain, the harder the bat.
A lot of pro stock bats. I mean, very thin grain and kind of when you get a knot in the bat. Oh, that was money.
Oh, really?
When there was a knot, in the grain by the barrel. I mean, that's hard. The knots.
What an education in wood.
Nobody listening is actually using wood anymore. It's all aluminum.
That's a maple bat.
Yeah.
Right, and you can't really see the grain. I mean, you can a little bit, but
a little bit, yeah.
It's not like it is on an ash bat. Back in the day, the old days, they used hickory bats, and those were
heavy,
hard, heavy,
dense.
Let's see. Do you see any ash bats in that group right there?
I do not. Nope.
Those are all maple.
Yep.
There's a company named Hickory, but that's a maple bat. The Sam bats.
And you know what? All this stuff that we thought was accurate, the thick, straight grain, it might not have been the case, but that's what we thought.
That's what you thought, so that's what you went with.
So you got a bat, you got a, and we used to rub them down with a ham bone.
A ham bone?
Just to kind of press it down a little, literally.
As a bone from a ham?
Yeah, a ham. And, every year we went to Comiskey Park, the old Comiskey Park. They had a monster ham bone screwed into a big piece of wood. So we're just sitting there, and we just loved getting our bats out. And I don't think it did anything. And that bat, the guy that ran the clubhouse, I forget his name, said they had that big hunk of ham
The bone?
The ham
He
bone?
must have had it for like 30 years. Glenn Braggs broke it in half after an at-bat.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he destroyed it. They were not happy.
It's a liner right back to Espino to end the inning. Ham bone, have you heard?
True. Ham bone.
That's a great story, Rock. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Story time with Bill Schroeder.
Got an update though on the ash bats down in the Brewers clubhouse.
Okay, go ahead.
Sogard and Vogt use ash bats.
Okay.
But Vogt exclusively uses ash. Sogard once in a while uses the maple.
All right, we're on the hunt for it then. A.J. Ramos is the Marlins closer. He's got 7 runs to work with here, obviously needing some work. Don Mattingly gets his best 3 relievers in the game today. And Ramos will face Jesus Aguilar to start the bottom of the 9th inning. I don't remember the last time I saw an ash bat, but I'm gonna have to go search it out. Where'd that intel come from? Jason Schauger?
Yeah, he texted me.
Nice.
See, Jason's listening, helping out.
He's the only one. No, there's more of you out there. We know. Aguilar into center field. And the first out of the inning. We'll wind it up and do it again tomorrow. Day game tomorrow. Don't forget, even though it's a Monday, it is a 1:10 first pitch, airtime 12:30. Stay tuned for Brewers Live after the game. Craig Kashan will tell us who tomorrow's starter will be. Sophia's going to be working the clubhouse, and we'll get an update from Craig Counsell on who he's going to have. Brewers might be making a player move. You never know. They've used Espino for 2 innings today, so that'll take him out of the mix tomorrow. Still could have Brent Suter start tomorrow if need be. We shall see. We'll find out momentarily. Arcia keeps on hitting. 2 more hits today, including another homer. Little half swing roller, and there is the second out. Brent Suter was up and stirring in the bullpen briefly in the 8th inning, but never threw a ball. So we'll find out if he's the man tomorrow. Brewers have a couple of options in the minor leagues they can call on as well. Brewers Orioles tomorrow from Miller Park. Interleague baseball with American League pitchers hitting tomorrow. Wade Miley starts for Baltimore. Buck Showalter and the O's coming to town. Brewers will be 2 games up in the Central Division standings when they arrive to play tomorrow. A.J. Ramos, the fearless closer. He is a younger version of Francisco Rodriguez. Will use his changeup in any count. Gives you a lot of motion. Eric Sogard is due next. Shares the maple and the ash bat. I think that's a maple bat, isn't it, Rock?
Hard to tell.
It's painted black. Doesn't do us any favors. I wonder how he decides what bat to use. Don't ash bats and maple bats break differently?
Yeah, for the most part. Ash bats will break, but not break in half and blow up most of the time. Maple bats will just disintegrate.
Yeah, that's when we started seeing all these
right.
bats flying everywhere when the maple came into play. There's a walk. Brewers need base runners. Right? Man is on. How many base runners now? They need 6 more. 5 more to bring the tying run to the plate.
I have been told that the bat that Eric Sogard is up there with right now is a maple bat.
Okay. Well, glad we cleared that
He
up.
has very limited use of the ash.
It's got to be a special occasion, huh? Two and 0 to Sogard. 2 outs in the 9th. Hope you're all having a great 4th of July weekend. Carry that thing over a few days. 4th of July is Tuesday. Bouncing ball to short, and that will do it. Long game here at Miller Park, but the Brewers win the series despite losing the finale. And 2 games up in the division. Marlins win the game as they hit the road to St. Louis next. They'll have a matchup with the Cardinals, a 4-game series. Time for Brewers Live. We got a lot of news coming your way on Brewers Live today. Craig Kashan will captain the ship. Take it away, Craig.
All right, will do, mate, for sure. Tough loss here today for Milwaukee, but lots going on as we get you set for the opening of the series coming up tomorrow. We'll hear from Craig Counsell on tonight's game and also find out who's going to be starting pitching tomorrow. Post-game reaction on the way. Brewers Live is presented by Ascension.